Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
I love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men, we will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
Coach Elko's my guy, right? Like, I love him. I love Michael Early. Like, I think Bucky's going to be incredible.
It's football, man. And that's what Warriors do. They don't want to sit out.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Obi, I found yesterday kind of a weird day in the fact that it was this great celebration of an awesome signing day class, and the future Aggies, you know, deserving their hours on this show. But also the part of me is like, I really want to react to the college football playoff rankings, which we did a little bit with Billy. It was we spent a segment and a half on it, and you know, we kind of got into some other topics for a little bit, but like I really wanted to chew on the direction that this college football playoff committee has A&M going. And I know you have, I don't know if it's a hot sports take,
Yeah.
but you do passionately, tell me if I'm phrasing this correctly, you don't care. You care, but like, whatever, let's just go play football and it'll take care of itself.
Yeah, my philosophy is, now, first of all, let me be clear. I thought A&M would be 6, and I would rather play in the first round a team like, say, North Texas or Virginia. I want what appears to be the best matchup. But ultimately, I don't care. If you're going to be a champion, you got to beat good teams. So if you're gonna get Notre Dame, say, hey, beat them once, just go beat them at their place, beat them again. I'm not going to ask somebody else to take care of the business for me. You know, like, hey man, I hope so and so upset so and so we don't have an easier way. Look, if they're going to send Notre Dame here, if they're going to send Miami here, if they're going to send Alabama here or Virginia, I don't care. You still got to beat them. You know, I was always saying that I thought that there was a certain softness that developed around A&M when Dennis Franchione took over, because R.C. Slocum had the philosophy, if we're going to play anybody, anytime, anywhere, and he backed that up by going to play early games. I think it was once against Nebraska, once against Stanford, once against Florida State. They'd play anybody, anytime, anywhere. And I liked Dennis. I did. We got along great. But one of the first things he and Bill Byrne did was they canceled games with Michigan State and somebody else. Anyway, good teams to play nobodies, you know, easy wins, because they were saying, well, you know, it's going to help us get into it's going to make us easier to get into a bowl. Like, what kind of mentality is it? This is Texas A&M.
Yeah.
A&M shouldn't be. They should be David Nuño. They're not going to back down from anybody. And I think that's the philosophy that Mike Elko has.
Yep, he does, and we're going to hear from him in a minute. I am complete agreement with you. I just kind of phrase it differently. I think A&M got screwed getting 7. Are you screwed going to the playoffs? No. Like you 1,000% agree with you. It doesn't matter who. When the A&M team that beat LSU beats Texas, beats Alabama, beats Ohio State, that team that this team is capable of being, I believe, beats anybody on the field. The team that we saw Friday, not so much, but that's okay. It's a long season for a reason. I think A&M got penalized for a late season loss. And then I feel like the chatter on social media and with pundits got to the committee and like, oh, you know, they haven't played anybody. Thank goodness Coach Elko kind of, you know, said his piece yesterday. We're going to hear from him in a minute. But I think you could be, as a fan, as an analyst, you can say, this sucks. I also hate reading and hearing whiny A $$ attitudes.
Yeah.
I hate whininess. When my kids whine, if there's nothing you can do about it, then don't freaking whine.
Yeah, just prepare to do what it takes to, to move on. So, yeah, look, I agree. I was surprised that A&M was 7th. I thought there'd probably be 6.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I was arguing it, I have to admit, if I was having a debate, I don't know if you were in high school debate. I wasn't either.
I wasn't.
But you draw to decide if you got to argue the pro or the con.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had to argue in favor of Ole Miss being 6, I could say, versus A&M, I could say, well, now first of all, I think A&M should have been 6. Okay, let's make that clear. But if I was going to argue that, I could say, well, as for Ole Miss, my one loss was to Georgia. Your one loss was to Texas, but Georgia beat Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And my best, I beat Oklahoma, and they were ranked 8th, and your best win was Notre Dame, and they were ranked 9th, right? If you're splitting hairs. But I still think that overall that A&M was the better team, and then to go from 3 and lose on the road by 10 to a ranked team and to drop all the way, 4 spots, that surprised me.
Yeah, well, you can also make an argument for Tech, for Oregon. Like these are teams that there's an argument to be made. I think if you have been in the top 3 the entire college football playoff ranking part of it, and you're going to drop 4 spots, I just thought it was too dramatic. But I should have not been surprised.
I think that committee, first of all, committees have always been a problem for Texas A&M. I think that committee was, for weeks, have been looking for a reason to discount A&M.
Yep.
In fact, they had before. They'd come up with some reasons why they shouldn't be 2 and close as opposed to 3, and you're like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But okay, the best thing to do is spite them, go out and win.
I just hope when they have this next meeting, they're like, "Hey guys, we thought this over. Nah, they should." But whatever, you get who you get. Miami, Bama at Kyle Field. I take A&M this year. Oklahoma, I take A&M this year. Notre Dame, you've already beat them on the road. Beat them at home. Mm-hmm. I think those are significantly harder matchups than Virginia, Group of 5.
I agree.
Right, like
North Texas or Tulane.
Right, like significantly.
Tulane already gotten beaten bad by Ole Miss.
Right. So I don't like that it has to be harder, but if it has to be harder, fine, go make it harder. You thought you were going to have a hard game in the SEC championship anyway. All right, well, we'll just fast forward that to the first round of the playoffs.
If you're as good as we think they are, it should be fine. Hey, go win.
Right.
I can remember Ohio State. I'm talking about 10 years ago or longer, and that year they jumped Baylor and TCU when there was only 4 teams.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, well, they got in. We thought, how this team shouldn't even be in.
Yeah.
They got in. And then they beat Alabama, and they beat, I think, Oregon, and won the national championship. So who cares what a committee thinks? I got a team that if they play to their ability and they play with intensity, and I don't think that should be a problem in the playoff, they can beat anybody.
Yeah. Let's hear from Coach Elko, by the way, because he had a couple thoughts on it. Most of yesterday's press conference was about signing day, but here's Coach Elko on the rankings and where things stand.
I think we've alluded to this, right? As a football coach, put a ball down, let's go play. It doesn't matter. We'll play anyone, anywhere. It is what it is. We're going to be in the playoffs, and we're going to go compete for a national championship. I think from a CEO standpoint, I think we are all screaming for some clarity. And I've said this all the way through the season, of what exactly is the criteria that we're utilizing to break ties. And I don't know that anybody has a real firm understanding of what that actually is. And so, for us to have a higher strength of schedule and a higher strength of record than a lot of the teams that share the same record as us, I don't understand. Now, at the end of the day, we'll put a ball down and we'll go play, and it'll be what it'll be. But it would be nice if there was a little bit of clarity in the process as to what exactly were happening.
Yeah, it would be. That's why there shouldn't be a committee to decide all this stuff. I mean, I said it over and over. I'm going to keep saying Hunter Yurachek, the guy that hired Chad Morris and Sam Pittman to be his head football coach, is going to be the guy that's going to tell us who the best teams are. I'm sorry, I can't trust his judgment.
Let's hear from Elko on the schedule, because that's been a big thing that people are poking holes in.
It's so stupid.
Here's Coach Elko breaking that part of it down.
The other thing I'm going to just address with this, because this needs to be said too, it's amazing how many people want to say we have played a poor schedule when we have the 15th ranked strength of schedule in the country and the 3rd ranked strength of record in the country. And so I understand that you can look at a picture on social media and draw a line and just make arbitrary conclusions. But I also think we have these formulas that create analytical evaluations of what our schedule actually was and how many teams could have actually managed our schedule at 11-1. And those numbers are very much in our favor. And so I know we can get on a mic and scream real loud that Texas A&M hasn't played a strong schedule. But if you dive into our schedule in any capacity, every analytic says we have. And so rather than yelling real loud about what we've done, I think let's look at the analytics and the numbers and try to use that to guide some more intelligent decision making.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say, people say, well, you haven't beat anybody. Well, you beat Auburn. Well, so what? Look at Auburn's record. I said, okay, yeah. But Auburn has a bad record. But Auburn probably beats Oklahoma in Norman, if not for the officials botching a call. They go to Alabama. Georgia, maybe there was an official botch call that kept them from being up 17-0 and possibly winning that game. They go to Alabama. They're driving a late fumble. You can go down. There's a lot of – okay, Florida. You can say, well, Florida, they're terrible. Yeah, they are. But you know what? They beat Texas, and A&M beat them. Mississippi State. Yeah, they're terrible. But you know what? They beat Arizona State. You know who Arizona State beat? Texas Tech. And you got Texas Tech, what, 4th now?
Yeah.
So,
and look, I'm a believer, too. If you take some of the bottom feeders, if you will, not Kentucky, not maybe South Carolina, some of these bottom feeders in the SEC, and you move them to the Big 12?
Yeah, I think they'd be, well, Mississippi State. What did I just say?
What you just said, yeah.
And imagine what they do in the ACC.
Exactly right.
And again, I look at South Carolina, had a bad year, but South Carolina had the lead with like 5 or 6 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Or in the 4th quarter against Alabama. You're like, we say it all the time, and I'm surprised. Look, I know Hunter Yurachek can't. I guess ultimately he has one vote, but we say it all the time. The bad teams in the SEC aren't bad.
No.
I think Mississippi State proves that with their win over Arizona State.
But, I think somebody asked Elko about Sark whining, and he didn't want to get into that. And, we, not as in David and Olin, but we as a fan base are why. I just want to get past whining. And I understand because I'm part of it. I'm complaining about where A&M is in, but in the justification,
there needs to be the 24-hour rule like the team has. Like you celebrate or commiserate a loss for 24 hours and you flush it, move on. So when you see the result or the poll come out and you're pissed off about something, you feel like there's injustice, speak out and yell and talk about how stupid they are and, vent your frustration and then say, all right, I got it out now. All right, now, who we got to beat? Hey, and that's what Mike Elko's doing.
I think I'm in the minority here, but I didn't think I was. There's folks that believe Alabama will be out of the playoffs if they lose the SEC championship game. I think that would be a huge injustice.
Yeah. I don't think you should, if you get into a conference championship game,
you shouldn't.
That result should not
out, right? I think you could be penalized a spot or two, right? Like if Indiana loses to Ohio State, obviously they shouldn't be the 2 seed anymore. That I recognize that. If there's a tie, right? But I don't feel like you should be completely out.
Yeah, because let me ask you this. What's stopping in the same situation? Let's say everything's the very same next year. What's stopping Alabama to say, no, hey, we don't care. We're not going to play in the conference championship game. And Greg says, what do you mean? We're not playing in it. Send Ole Miss, send A&M. We're not playing. Well, why? Because we played in it last year and it cost us a place in the championship. And as much as we'd like to be SEC champions, we have greater ambitions, and our greater ambition is to win the national championship. So if playing in our conference championship game is going to keep us from having a chance to win the national championship, we're just not going to play. And who's going to stop them? And if you have to get attorneys, people always want to do that.
Yeah,
we can do that.
Yeah, I just think that would be a huge disservice. And I don't think Diego Pavia really needs to get Donald Trump involved to get them. I think there's an argument for Vanderbilt as well. But I don't think you should lose your spot because you lost. And I think if they lose, there's a couple scenarios that it could force them out. It could force Notre Dame out.
Yeah, I think if you're Notre Dame, you're a huge fan of
Texas
Georgia.
Tech. You think Georgia? I was thinking Texas Tech because if BYU wins...
Well, them too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're paranoid this weekend if you're Notre Dame. And here's why I say Georgia. If Alabama wins, and you just said maybe you have to bump them down some, I know it's the most, and we can't use I can't use this word because of politically correctness. So I'm going to say the word I want to use begins with "re." That's the first syllable. But Hunter Yurachek has gone on and said, "Well, we can't compare Miami and Notre Dame head to head, even though they have the same record and Miami beat Notre Dame because we have them in different pods."
Right.
Yeah, but you're the one that creates the pods.
You created the pod.
So how ridiculous is that? Hey, we're going to create the pod, and we're going to make sure we keep Notre Dame and Alabama out of the pod. That's our decision, so we don't have to acknowledge Miami beat Notre Dame.
Look, I think if Notre Dame and Miami played today, Notre Dame would win. That's what I believe. That being said, they played the freaking game already.
Yeah,
it should count for something.
Yeah, so what we need to do is in the semifinals, if the team we don't like or the team we want to win loses, and they're going to play Ohio State, maybe say Georgia. But we really think Indiana's better. So I think Georgia's better. Georgia won. But you know what? I think if they played again, Indiana would win. So let's put Indiana against Ohio State again. Because it really doesn't matter what happens on the damn field. Isn't that the ultimate tiebreaker is head-to-head?
You would think. Oh, but that was a lifetime ago. Then why have a long season?
So you're saying the regular season doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You talk about a bunch of people that are supposed to be smart and they're clearly not. Taking something that's not that difficult and making it a lot harder than it has to be.
By the way, it's not that difficult to say that we're late, to say this is TexAgs Live.
It is TexAgs Live.
We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Yeah, he's smart.
Yeah, he's very smart. We're in the Rollo Insurance
Speaking
Studio.
of smart guys, Jason and Jackson and the boys.
This hour has a name.
Yeah, it's the go hour.
It's
we
not
better
that
just run out of the smart part.
Presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. Now, they're smart.
They're smart.
And we are currently sitting atop of the
Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
Right. And
they're really smart.
They're very smart. They'll help you out with all of your financial needs. And they were our proud sponsors of yesterday's National Signing Day show.
Is that right?
That is right. And if you want to be a part of the conversation, another smart guy, you can call, well, you won't call him, but you can call the Buffy's Catering and Bartending hotline. That number is OB.
979-693-1150. I knew that because I'm a smart guy.
You're very smart, at least when it comes to that topic. If you want to be a part of the conversation, call us or text us.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your opinions.
Would we?
Thoughts. Well, as long as it's respectful.
Yeah.
To a degree.
I think
to a degree.
To a degree, yeah. Fan show later on today. We want to hear their thoughts as well. Let's go around the room. Say hi to the humans. Behind the glass is our director, our friend, Nick Savage. Nick, good morning, sir.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
How are you?
I'm great. I share OB's sentiment with, hey, I don't really care who we get. Obviously, we all would prefer the easier path to the national championship game, but, I don't care who it is. they're coming to Kyle Field. It's going to be a fun game to watch either way. And just a note, we're watching one more decision later on this morning in terms of National Signing Day, this early signing day period, I should say. So we'll keep you updated on that.
Is this the running back from Georgia?
Yes, yes, sir. You got that right. We'll keep an eye on him. Carson Baker, decommitted from Florida late. I think it was when
Carson
the coaching
Baker, the touchdown
change
maker.
happened. So we'll keep an eye on that, and I'll let you know if anything good comes out of it.
We got to hear that again.
Carson Baker, the touchdown maker.
Anything else you can add to it?
No, but unless he doesn't come here.
Then he's a Quaker.
Yeah, well, maybe if he goes to Penn.
I don't think they're in the mix. Let's go check in at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Alex Schoonover over there. Hello, Schoon.
What's up, Ariel?
What's up, man?
What's up?
Chilling. What's up, OB?
We already kind of establish how we are with our rant early. Yeah. But I know that's just Southern salutation.
Yeah. Hey, man. What are you doing, bro?
Well, all right. So since we're kind of arguing about the whole playoff thing, there's a text I really want to read y'all from Chase in Houston. He said
he's always good, by the way.
Yeah. He said, "Here's my argument about Alabama not making the College Football Playoff if they lose on Saturday. If A&M would have made the SEC title game last year with a win over Texas with 3 losses and lost the SEC championship game, they wouldn't have made the College Football Playoff with 4 losses. I know logos matter in this sport, but in theory, it shouldn't."
Here's where I disagree. A&M wasn't in the 10 that would have gotten you in, right? They weren't one of those 10.
Yeah.
Alabama is one of those 10. That would be my argument for it. They're already in it. Since they're already kind of in the circle, I don't think they should be pushed out of the circle for losing. I think A&M's only chance to make the playoffs last year would have been winning the conference championship. OB?
Yeah. I don't care who the team is. Maybe it's Texas A&M next year. I think that if you lose in a conference championship game, that should not be held against you. That's just my opinion.
But last year, A&M, had they lost in the SEC championship game, they wouldn't have been.
And I don't think that should be the case. I think I think that.
You think if they made the conference championship game, they should be in the playoffs? Is that what you're saying? Or am I hearing you wrong?
If they're already in, no. I'm thinking their status shouldn't change based on what happens in the championship game.
That I agree with. It can only be enhanced.
Right. Or it just can't be held against you.
Right. Now
I can see dropping you.
A spot or two,
but you can't drop out based on what happens in your championship game. Because then again, I think winning conference champions should be important.
I agree.
And if you penalize teams, then like I said earlier, what's the point in playing for one?
Yeah. Yesterday I talked about 1775.
Yeah. And
I just kind of gave the straight ad read because you weren't here. It's not fun to was it with Bronny? I guess I flirted with Bronny a little bit with it, but it's people didn't like it. They were like, no, we need OB doing his OB-isms on the meat.
Well, I want, it's not just OB-isms. I'm just telling the truth.
Yeah, but there's the way
and you say it. You can't handle the truth. But you can handle those pork ribs. I eat them with my hands. Hell, what am I saying? I'll eat soup with the hands. But
I've seen him do that.
Those pork ribs, but I always keep the fingers out. The pork ribs, they're amazing. I'll pick up a brisket sandwich, that succulent brisket. Yeah. It'll be piled that high. You haven't lived, sausage.
You haven't lived unless you've used your hands and gotten queso mac and cheese.
Queso mac and cheese. I have to admit, I eat the queso mac and cheese with the fork, but when it's gone, I'm not above. You ever
lick it?
Yeah.
You put it. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Show us how you do that.
Well, I'll just kind of swirl my finger to get what's left of that queso mac and cheese because it's that good. It's good to the last drop. It's like, is that? Who's good to what coffee was good to the last drop?
Folgers.
Was that Folgers?
I just think.
Or Maxwell House? One of them.
I don't know.
But 1775 definitely is.
Good to the last
bite.
There you go.
Drop. However you want to consume it.
979-492-6241, 1775 TXBBQ.com.
It's good.
Hey guys, David Nuño here to talk about our new partners with EventPipe. They are a leader in hotel booking technology, and now they're giving you a chance to support Aggie student athletes every time that you travel. Thanks to their partnership with United and EventPipe, whether you're heading into a game, a business trip, or family vacation, every room that you book comes with cash back in the pockets of Aggie athletes. That's a wonderful deal. And with EventPipe, you'll get discounted hotel rates up to 20% lower than the major travel sites while enjoying a fast, easy booking process. They've even created Presto, EventPipe's quick launch booking solution. It lets organizations build branded hotel sites powered by live hotel inventory, making it simple to book the perfect stay. So next time you want to book a trip, do it the smart way with EventPipe and support Texas Aggies NIL through United. Visit their website, tau.eventpipe.com.
We are back here on the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. It is TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Obese time for the Heisman Watch,
Brought to you by the Shirtlift Law Firm. Hunter's a friend of our company, and we trust him with our legal needs. Call Shirtlift Law today when you need a lawyer for your business or your personal issues. OB, I think I said this to you on Monday. Some folks were like, Nuño and OB need to stop campaigning for Marcel Reed being the high. The information at the time, Marcel Reed was the top 3 guy, in my opinion. I think he's fallen out of that top 3 based on one game, the Texas game, right?
You win the Heisman Trophy. A big part of it is what do you do in the biggest games?
Yeah.
So I really don't feel like I need to or should be doing a top 5. You know, you're not supposed to give your the way you're going to vote, and we're the vote's due on Monday.
Okay.
So, but
you can give us some names that you're considering.
Yeah, I mean, if what you do in the big games is how you win, I mean, you can't have just one good game.
Right.
But I think that the Big Ten championship game might decide the Heisman Trophy winner between Julian Sayin of Ohio State quarterback and Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think you have to be the winner. Like if Mendoza throws for 3 touchdown passes and 300 yards and plays great, but his team loses 24-21 because some guy from Ohio State runs for 150 yards and has a couple of touchdowns, and Sayin is okay, but not great.
Right.
You know, I may have to say, okay. I still think Haynes King, even though he's not playing, I think he has to be a guy that has to be considered at least for votes, because I still don't think there's a player that meant more to his team and his team's success than Haynes King.
I think I would vote for Pavia.
I think, I'll agree with this. If you're basing it on the last 4 games, Pavia wins it going away, because he's been over 400 yards of total offense in each of the last 4 games. But in the biggest game he had to play, he passed for like 198 yards and 1 touchdown with an interception in a loss to Alabama. Let's be honest, his numbers against Texas were better than they actually were. And what I mean by that was he had some bad plays that helped put them in a big hole. Mm-hmm. And then late in the game, and I hate to always say anything nice about Texas, but Texas gave up a lot of yards when they were basically playing prevent.
Right.
And so, but if someone votes for Pavia, I mean, I can't have a big problem with it, because I don't know that there's anybody that is just taking it and says, you know, they're emphatically your winner. Now, some are saying Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame, who had 66 yards rushing last week. Now, I know he got hurt, and so he didn't play the whole game. Well, you know what? Hendon Hooker he got hurt.
Yeah.
And he was in my mind, he was far and away the guy to win it. And last year we had a running back rush for 2,600 yards and doesn't win the Heisman. Jeremiah Love has a little over 1,300, and he's played 12 games, and six of his 12 games as a running back, he's had less than 100 yards rushing. That's your Heisman Trophy winner. To me, it's not.
Right.
I know it's not always based on stats, but a running back who's under 100 yards in 6 of his games, right. I'm like, I don't know. So this is why this contributes. And Tyler Simpson, maybe he's going to have a big game against Georgia. So maybe he could back his way into it. But, you know, you still think about that Oklahoma game. He was the reason, you know, pick 6 and things like that they lost.
There isn't a clear-cut winner this year, but I think of these 3 names, I think Pavia is one of my 3. And what happens in the Big Ten championship game, to me, that's the differentiator.
So let's not be shocked that the Latino here has 2 Latinos in his top 3.
Hold on. I didn't even think about that. I said Julian Sayin.
I don't know what he is.
I'm just saying he's a human. That's how I see him.
If his name was Sayinez, you would Sayinez.
Julian. His actual name is Julian Sayon.
Look, I don't have any problem with any of those, with what you said. But you know what all that goes to when you're saying, well, okay, I'm not sure. That once again goes to why Marcel might have won it had he had a
great game,
a really strong game against Texas. He might have won it.
All right, let's hit a break here because my Heisman is Stephen McGee, or at least he's my QB1. He's here in studio.
But
the joke's coming.
I was trying to think of one, but I couldn't.
You got your Henley.
I do, and I
duck camp Henley, by the way.
That's right. I like this shirt. You know, I think I look good in it, kind of sexy, and it's not.
Let's go deeper into that. You think you look a little sexy in it?
Yeah, that's what the wife tells me.
Yeah, when you wear that.
Well, you know,
in general,
among other things.
Yeah.
But especially this. I like it. It's warm but not hot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and kind of like me.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good look. What do you think? You think it's a good look? I think it's. And if
comment below
if it can look good on me. Imagine what it can do for you.
OB in a Henley and leather pants. That's what I want to see. Black leather pants.
With the butt out.
Duckcamp.com. They're built for the outdoors, designed for everything else. 25% off if you use the code TexAgs25.
We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Stephen McGee is in studio here during the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. He's our QB1 and your financial QB at Paragon Financial Advisors, helping you call the right place for your financial future. What up, man?
Morning. Walked into a room discussion of what's the radio appropriate term?
Buttless chaps.
Buttless chaps, and an arm sleeve with an OB earring in. And what Irma would do if you walked in.
A Fu Manchu to go with it.
A Fu Manchu to go with it. It's quite the thought.
Irma would not. She could not divorce me fast enough.
That's going to be the final thing?
She probably wouldn't. Yeah.
That's it?
That's the
she may not even wait for the divorce. She might just, hire somebody to come and shoot me and say,
she'll say thank you.
Put that idiot out of his misery.
Well, from the rest of us at TexAgs, I'm sure we would appreciate the situation.
Yeah. Stephen, the Texas game, I'm at a point where I'm so ready to move on from it, but I haven't spoken to you about it.
Yeah.
Just how have you processed what happened Friday in the big picture?
Yeah, I think the big picture for me is that the negative is that maybe it does substantiate that A&M is not a normal and 11-1 team that plays in the SEC. The narrative around A&M feeding off, beating the bottom of the SEC conference, I think could be more or less true in some avenues. Not to say that Texas is not a very good football team. I think they are. I think they're a much better team than they were on the road at Kentucky or Mississippi State. They quite frankly just beat us, right? I mean, there's no argument about that. They won the line of scrimmage. Offensive and defensive lines won that football game for us. I thought Arch out-quarterbacked us in the second half when it mattered. But you look at the bigger picture, and I think the story does, at least in the back of my mind now, start to think, well, maybe we're good. I think everyone agrees we're a good football team, no doubt about it. But maybe we're not a true top 5 football team. And you see South Carolina get beat by 2 scores against a very below average Clemson team. Yep. And then Kentucky gets blasted by Louisville.
But can't you make that argument about everybody?
Yeah, it's a hard game to play. Look, that's not the right way to hey, they beat this team and this team beat this team, so they're better. That's not how it works. Matchups matter so much, and I get that. But look, it was not our best performance. The concern I have moving forward is that the A&M football team we've seen the last 3 weeks, is that the team that's going to show up in the playoffs? Because it's going to be an early exit. I don't care who we play. But if the team that showed up against LSU shows up, I feel like we're going to be able
to beat anybody, right?
Beat anybody.
Yeah.
Offense and defense. But you can't have a defensive line that is not good against the run. And you have to have an offense that can run the football and win the line of scrimmage and do so convincingly. That's got to be, in these type of football games, you've got to do that. And then all the other things too, like explosive plays that we didn't get against Texas, turning the football over, that's got to stop. Marcel's got to be a better decision maker. That's been a consistent theme. And then the kick game, my gosh, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. If I was the special teams coach, I might be feeling a little bit paranoid as the season draws to an end. Who knows how Elko feels about that. I want to ask you, you just mentioned Marcel making better decisions. I have talked to a lot of people, and there was this frustration about running opportunities that weren't taken. Now, he ran the ball a lot, but they were talking about opportunities to scramble. And they say, hey, Arch saw opportunities that took them.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of their success.
Absolutely.
And maybe there were times when there were opportunities there that either Marcel didn't take them or he hesitated, and then when he decided to run, it was too late, right? My question to you is, as a quarterback, how difficult is it to identify when to go and when not to go?
Yeah. It's a feel thing, I feel like, so much. You're in the pocket and you feel, the pass rush, they're not gap sound. You're like, oh man, this is an opportunity. And you can just see hey, it's open field. Defense has their eyes turned, especially in man coverage, right? That's when everyone's eyes are not on the quarterback. And I think it is so much about a feel and development thing. But for me, Marcel's struggles are he fixates and makes up his mind where he's going with the football pre-snap and not playing it real post-snap. Both interceptions, he was late. And that's part of the development we've talked a lot about. And you can get away with it in certain games and environments. But when you go on the road, especially, and you have an offensive line that's having to deal with the silent count, they're getting a good jump off the line, the pressure is more in the quarterback's lap. You have to play football on time. Yeah. And we talk about quarterbacks winning the game from the pocket, and that is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. It will come back to bite you in the tail. You have to play quarterback on time. And both interceptions, he's late, and he does not read the defense. I mean, it's just, that's the frustrating part of, hey, this is game 12. He's got a lot of starts under his belt, and you want to see that progress. Now, he's a very good football player, and we have rode his back to a lot of wins this year. So you can't say, hey, this is all on Marcel. It's not, right? But I think you look at the development curve, and you compare us now to like an Indiana or Ohio State. Their quarterbacks are making quick decisions with the football, and they're accurate throwers under pressure, right? I'm not saying that they don't have their flaws. They certainly do. But in these types of football games against good teams, your quarterback has to play on time and accurately.
What I find very interesting, Stephen, though, is that the fact that as bad as A&M played, and I thought, especially in the second half, but even in the first half, as bad as A&M played, the game was still a game in the fourth quarter with a chance to win the game.
There it was. And I think that's the bullish case is like, and we've been saying that, quite frankly, for a while. It's like, if you're an A&M fan, the best thing you have looking forward is that this football team is still an 11-1 football team and hasn't even felt like they've touched their potential.
Well, they still haven't played a full game.
Yeah.
And maybe they won't. Maybe that's just who they are.
Yeah.
I'll say this, moving forward, as much as it was disappointing with the offensive output, it was the second time they're under 30 points this year, and they left a lot of points on the field. They should have had. I mean, they had 3 times they snapped the ball from the 21 to 18 and to 13 with first down.
Yep.
And got 3 points out of those.
Amen.
I'm still moving forward. I think their success or failure is going to be more dependent on their defense.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if Marcel doesn't throw an interception there at the end. If they score, great. But what told you that they were going to keep Texas from scoring when Texas got the ball again?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good point. And
they scored 24 in the second half?
Well, they had 3 at halftime.
Yeah.
But to that end, I think that good offense leads to good defense. And we've seen that many times one or the other struggles, but it gets the other one back into a rhythm and play. And to me, an offense that's able to create momentum, especially in college sports, that's out there making plays, that, time of possession matters too, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you have an offense that's sustaining drives, keeping your defense off the field, getting those guys rested matters and helps them perform at a better level. So I think, yes, we're going to win on defense in the run game, first and second down. That's the question mark. If our defense can play behind the chains, which I thought they did a good job for the most part in the first half. They kept Texas behind the chains, early downs and distance. Yeah. Someone said, well, what would your key to this game be? And I was like, look, you've got to force Texas into predictable passing situations, second down and long and third down and long. And they did that.
They did
in the first half.
And then Arch was able to run and get first downs on a lot of those.
And then they ran the football well. They won the line of scrimmage in the second half with Wisner and then Arch using his legs. And I think some of that, though, has to do with the fact that our offense wasn't able to get any momentum and or sustain drives much.
We got to hit a break. We're way behind it. We'll come back with more. To family-owned agencies dialed into TexAgs, Rollo Insurance is doing amazing work helping small agencies keep up with the slow-motion corporate takeover of the insurance industry, tech, markets, education, and succession planning for big challenges. Go to rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. Listen to Keith and Jackson's awesome testimony right here in this studio not long ago. And at Rollo Insurance, Aggies are doing all kinds of work to help out other Aggies. Check it out, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, 888-44-ROLLO. All right, guys, let's talk about some new partners, Aggieland Hydration and Injectables. They're Aggie-owned and operated. They are an mobile IV hydration company that was founded back in 2024. I met with Sheldon and Danny over the last week, and they're awesome people. They really know what they're doing. They're proud to serve Bryan College Station with awesome services like IV hydration, Botox, and even some weight loss options. Whether you're looking for a quick boost of hydration or dehydration preventative, they can tailor an IV cocktail specific to your needs. And on a busy weekend, I know some of you guys might be partying a little bit too much. If that's the case, an IV can be one of the easiest ways to ensure you're receiving all those necessary vitamins and minerals that make you feel better.
Their overall mission is to bring a more personalized and accessible wellness option to the broader range of clientele here in the Bryan College Station and Brazos Valley area. To book an appointment or inquire about it, just call them up or text them. 979-217-1561. Again, it's Aggieland Hydration and Injectables. Check them out. It's our friends at Aggieland Hydration and Injectables. All right, we got about 3 minutes left here on the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. Stephen McGee is with us, your financial QB at Paragon Financial Advisors. Time for Buy, Sell, Hold, brought to you by Aggie own Paragon Financial Advisors. If you want financial guidance that truly puts you first, visit paragon-adv.com. Guys, I don't really know how to position this, so I know OB doesn't care who A&M plays in the first round. I don't know how you feel about that. We'll talk about it with Swope when he comes in, but first round matchups, buy, sell, hold, who would you prefer to see? And I'm going to give you 4 teams. You only have to do 3, but I'm going to give you 4 because I think right now it looks like there's 4 possibilities. Notre Dame, which probably isn't going to happen, but it could happen. Oklahoma, Alabama, outside chance Miami. Just pick 3 for your buy, sell, hold.
Wow. And so I guess UVA is not in the likely.
Not at 7.
Man, I tell you, I don't like the idea of playing Notre Dame. So I would probably sell Notre Dame. I think they're a different football team than they were week 1. I think their quarterback's matured. I love Jeremiah Love, and I think that defense has really changed. You going to sell?
I'm going to buy. I think I want to buy
Miami.
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
You're not worried about that defense?
I think A&M's offense can score on anybody, even though they didn't against Texas. And I don't know that Oklahoma. And then I'm leasing Alabama because Alabama can't run the football. Texas couldn't either.
Yeah.
But
God, don't remind me.
And then I think I'll sell Notre Dame just because in the likely event or the unlikely event that Notre Dame won a rematch, I'd have to listen to hear my sister-in-law. I don't even want them here because then I'm going to have all the Notre Dame people wanting to stay at my house again.
What a reason.
Yeah.
I like your idea. Like Oklahoma is a hard one for me to understand.
Of those 4 teams, though, who's the most beatable?
Oklahoma, in my opinion.
More than Miami?
More than Miami?
Okay, maybe not. I think
they all got
Miami strikes me as having more talent.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like Carson Beck both teams have quarterback issues, in my opinion, under pressure. Like, to me, my Oklahoma's quarterback's not been great, and he kind of.
I do like the idea of playing a non-mobile quarterback.
I do too.
Yeah.
Our defense, non-mobile quarterback, and Carson Beck is turnover prone. I feel like you could. Their quarterback is athletic and can make some plays out of the pocket, which is giving us fits. And they can run the football.
Would Mateer give us fits?
He would give us problems, but he hadn't given anybody that matters a whole lot of fits.
Yeah.
Now, part of it is maybe he doesn't have the receivers that Alabama has. That's why I worry about Alabama.
Yeah, they do have some guys outside. Again, I would
Satania's having a good year for OU, though.
What if Texas Tech loses to BYU? Do they drop far enough to where?
I don't know.
To where Virginia, we're now 6. Is there any likelihood of us moving up to 6?
There's chances. It just seems highly unlikely. We'll keep investigating that later. Thank you, OB. I don't know why I was about to call you Ryan. We'll come back with Ryan Swope. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Ryan Swope is in here with us with Stephen McGee. And this is brought to you by Duck Camp. Whether you're hunting birds at sunrise or flipping burgers before kickoff, Duck Camp's got you covered. Check it out at duckcamp.com. Built for the outdoors and designed for everything else. You got your Duck Camp jacket on?
He went pullover, over with this. That's baller jacket.
Yeah, dude.
Wait. Everything you're wearing is duck camp, right?
I got it all. Yeah, dude.
Holy
Pants.
smokes.
Look at that.
Wow. Look at that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dude, you're a model.
Yeah,
Gosh, thanks. I'm save a little for everyone else.
Wow.
Look at this guy.
I don't think I got that much in my basket. Anyway,
But you're wearing the Concord J's. That's
Ooh.
those are pretty
Those
undefeated.
retros?
I don't know what they are. They're just J's.
Those are
Those are
baller, man.
Those are
Thank you.
nice, man.
Thank you, guys.
Not just any average Joe can pull those off.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'm pulling them off. I'm wearing them, but I don't know if I can pull it off. All right, so we'll get into matchups and
Sure.
But just love to get your thoughts on the state of Aggie football today.
Man, yeah, I guess that I'm still, obviously a little sour about that last opponent we played. Never like losing to those guys. It's extra personal in my household and being from Austin, so that one stung a little bit. But there's always next year
For the SEC.
Hey, can I ask a question?
Or do you mean over next year?
I'm talking about for the Longhorns playing them.
okay,
We
gotcha.
got to just live with.
What do you remember of this season if A&M loses their last game to Texas and then lays a dud in the first round? Like, does it just jade the whole season for you?
Yeah, it does.
For me too.
I'm
man.
hoping. I'm not going to be that. I'm not going to go there though. I think Elko gets these guys right.
I think there's a lot riding on
I
this
think
game,
there's
though.
a lot, and I think there's a lot our team learned in that game. I'm hoping, and I just hope it put a sour taste in their mouth. And they've got 3 weeks to sit on that, and I know they're bumping in practice because they got to get some things straightened out over there. And we got to take care of the football. We got to fill gaps. We got to tackle better. We got to be more physical.
I want to go back to something you said there because I think both of you are exactly right. Like if they were to lose their last 2 games, it would put a sour feeling on the season. But like, oh my goodness, a year ago we couldn't beat bad teams. This year we destroy bad teams. I say we because at the moment I'm talking as the community. We're 11-1 in the playoffs, hosting a game at Kyle Field. And yes, everything you said is true. But like as you have success, your vision of what success feels like changes, doesn't it? Like because we felt the LSU game, the pinnacle of this season, right? That kind of domination.
They've earned the right of higher expectations.
Yes.
And with that comes more pressure to win and sustain that success, right? I mean, it's a different standard than it was a year ago.
Absolutely. It was a different standard 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, we were sitting up
I
here
predicted
thinking
7-5.
7-5, 8-4 Texas A&M football team. And here we are looking up with a chance to go compete for a national championship in a college football playoff. I mean, they have overexceeded our expectations.
Preseason expectations.
Preseason, absolutely.
But then we redid them in the middle of the season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I worry we looked better back in September and October.
That's right.
Than we do right now. And that's my biggest concern leading up to this 3-week break that we go into is what does the identity of this football team look like in big time situations?
Why did we look better? Like is it the level of opponent or is it?
I think it's.
It can't be. I mean, South Carolina's not a good football team.
Yeah, but they play everybody tight. They play Bama tight. I know they didn't play Clemson tight, but
they got beat by a bad Clemson team. That to me,
they got drummed by Clemson.
Yeah, but they almost beat Bama. I mean, I'm just saying
that's fair. I mean, they're not. They have good football players, but at the end of the day, to Swope's point, is we did not play well versus South Carolina. It's not about who we played; it's how we played those games.
I agree with that.
I didn't think Sanford, we played
sloppy,
below average. We should have beat that team by 7.
Inconsistent, 3 and out early in the game. Yeah. Like you should never be off the field offensively.
And look, and I think you mentioned this earlier. If we get the Texas A&M football team that shows up against LSU, we can go compete for a national title.
We're in it.
And so we at least have glimpses of how good we can be, what our potential is. But I've yet to see that team play consistently for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it. And so that's what worries me because, I mean, at this point of this late in the season, you got to have you can't play a C- game and hope it goes your way. You're going to get beat, and your season's going to end, and that's just the reality of it. I mean, only the strong survive, man.
So where do you think we look worse?
taking care of the football. I think offensively, I think Marcel's got and he's a great quarterback. He's young. He's just not going through his progressions. I think you said that earlier. A side of me thinks this Texas game, when he went down and got hurt, did you feel like our entire, just the play calling in general, like maybe there was like a oh crap moment? Like, see, I think we got bigger things in the oven cooking that we can't afford him to go down.
Yeah, I thought he was tentative, though, even early in that game.
Yeah, I do. I did like some of the play calls we had early. Like, when our offense was struggling late first quarter, we had the quarterback draw. We're going to get tons of single high defense. But it's hard to tell on ESPN not being there. What was our separation like on the back end? I thought Texas seemingly played pretty well. We didn't take very many shots.
No.
Which hints to me that there was we had the one shot, we got the PI on, and then the very OB and I were talking about the 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, while we were throwing a post route, incomplete, and then we're off the field punting, right? That was probably one of the biggest plays of the game, the decision. It's hard to see the full scope of what's going on in the back end. Are we winning outside? Based on the previous 11 weeks, it's hard for me to imagine our wide receivers weren't getting open at some levels, but we didn't get explosives, and they did.
Yeah. I think we need to get creative with KC and Mario, and they did some of this, but I love handing the ball off to 7 and letting around the end and letting them just go to work. And I feel like if we do more of that and use that speed to our advantage, it makes it really hard as a defense to defend. Because you got 2 guys that can do it. So you put them in motion packages, throw little short bubbles, get the ball out quickly into the hands of Mario and KC and let them go eat. I feel like if we don't do that enough.
We don't do it enough. Early in the game, we threw the little screen pass to Craver, backed up on our own end zone, which is a great play. And then the touchdown, obviously, to 7. And how about the block by Ruben Owens? The one guy I thought of was Swope. Whenever he blew that guy up on the edge, I was like, dude, Swope right now is freaking out. I can't remember if you were over at the house.
I was over there. I was
dying, dude. I was like, dude, that play.
I love that, man.
Was probably the highlight of the game for me. But
don't you feel like getting them, like even handing the ball up, bring 7 in the backfield and let him go to work?
Yeah, it's all about getting explosives. There's no doubt that 7's a game changer. Even on a stick route that was very well covered in a tight window throw, he got yak and got a big first down that shouldn't have been there. But yeah, those guys have to get touches, and I think we have to make a concerted effort of finding ways for this offense to take shots and just say, hey, look, we're going to call a double move. We're getting single high. Throw it up. Right? Like, hey, this is your opportunity on 2nd and short. We're going to take our shot now, Marcel.
Yeah.
You find the one-on-one side and let it eat. Like, we can't go a full game without feeling like we ever stretched the field in the pass game. We did get some explosives, right?
But what was our red zone efficiency?
Not good.
Which we've struggled at. Yeah. And defensively, we've not been good at, right? It's like these bipolar.
It's really hard to be efficient, too, when you don't have a kicker in the red zone.
It's tough. That's going to be a problem, man. I don't even know what to say to that.
And
it's hard.
To me, it's not just the kicker, though. It's been the blocking on these punts and kicks.
Every week, it's inevitable that we're going to have a punt that's either blocked or nearly blocked.
His best punt, Tyler White's best punt, was so close to being blocked. But this is the first game this season that I didn't find us elite anywhere.
No.
Right, elite. Like Casey looked good when he got the ball. Like there's no doubt about that. But either we run the ball well in the 4th quarter, didn't do that. Either Marcel has a big game. Either the defense is stopping there was no parts of the game that we could hang our hat on that I thought we were elite.
Did we have 3 sacks in the game? But I think they were all by 2nd level guys, right? It wasn't. Or no, Onyedem I think may have one.
And in the first half, I thought Arch got hit. Ending the first half, Arch was getting hit.
You got some pressure on him, right? Yeah. But we were really
couldn't grab him, man.
It was not pressure. I guess my point is to say when we rushed 4, I don't feel like we were getting pressure on the quarterback, right?
Which was supposed to be their Achilles heel, that offensive line that couldn't protect Arch.
Yeah, so that's a concern. You started the set with, well, what is the biggest negative for this football team? I think that Marcel's got to play at a high level, all right? It is unfouled. Like
it's quarterback league. It's quarterback league.
It is. It's quarterback-driven league. The two most important stats in football are what? Turnovers, number one. Explosive plays, number two. That's the truest thing ever. I mean, it's facts. It's black and white. Marcel's got to protect the football, right? There's no doubt, and we've got to get explosives. There's so much pressure right on him, and he's answered the call week in and week out. I feel like we're going to be fine there. The second Achilles heel, run defense, right?
Well, that's been all year.
Yeah.
Fitz,
you got to stop the run, man.
Fitz, second level tackling.
The weird part about it, though, is they'll look really good 60% of the game. And then there's those two plays. And when those two plays happen, at least with Texas, the dam broke.
It's true. And that's, I think it's so much, though, it's about the discipline of the fit. Ryan, you mentioned that, right?
Yeah.
We have two guys in the gap.
The wrong gaps. Yeah. Linebackers fill in the wrong gaps. They bust a run, a 40, 50-yard run. And, dude, that just takes the air out of a defense.
Yeah.
And not to mention, they did it whenever they wanted to. And so, we got to fix those gaps. I felt like our tackling was about a C+. There's a lot of missed tackles. I feel like there's some opportunities. We could have had the quarterback. He's able to get through and extend these drives. And also there was some really good stuff where we should have had him tackled in the line of scrimmage. And next thing you know, the running back pops out and gets 6-7 more yards. And,
right.
Dude, you got to get him down. You got to get him down. You got to swarm to the football. You got to be more physical. So little things like that, they get you beat.
There's no doubt. I mean, it's not ground shatter. Like these aren't things that are unfixable, right? It's the disciplines of football, tackling, filling gaps, just being sound in your rush lanes. Look, Mike Elko is the director of that defense, and to me, there's no one better. Yeah. And so I have utmost faith. We have the guys. I don't feel like we're lacking. One of the things we didn't really talk about that I felt like really shined, like if there's one thing I was like, man, they actually competed really well. The back end of our defense, we're putting those guys in man-to-man islands.
They're doing a great job.
And Texas has some guys that can run. Wingo's a good football player, man. And the other kid, he's a good receiver. Like they're not. And Arch throws a really good deep ball.
Yeah.
And they stretch the field on several. I mean, our guys arguably could have been flagged for a PI or two, but these refs let them compete, and they were not going to give up an easy completion. And that makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
That we can play single high defense and not get burned. That has not been true for the last decade at A&M football.
So let's talk about where A&M is ranked right now, because we poked a lot of holes in who they've been recently. I still think the dramatic drop from 3 to 7 was, I hate to say not unexpected, because I feel like with A&M hat on, we get this a lot. Basketball, football in 2020, like they're committees, for some reason, and maybe it's because we haven't had sustained success, have not given us the props, I think. I just think that was a big drop-off considering the other 11-1 teams.
I think there's some questions. I think that it goes back to what we were talking about. Finding it, I think the committee, it was 5 weeks ago, they were full on, Texas A&M is going to win the national championship. They're grooving, they're making football programs fall apart, fire their coaches, and we're hot as a pistol. 5 weeks goes by, and they see a different team. They're starting to question. It's a tight game against South Carolina. They go into Sanford. Really, we didn't look great. I think that's stuff that they're looking at just from an overall standpoint of how is this football team playing right now?
Yeah.
And if you ask me or Steven, I think we're playing below what we're capable of playing.
I agree.
To.
Now, clearly, they're picking these based on the most recent, right? Because Texas Tech is not the best of the one-loss teams.
Yeah.
Right.
In my opinion. I mean, they should be at the bottom. I think Ole Miss.
I thought it was a little harsh, like going from 3 to 7. But I understand. I kind of understand the metrics they're looking at. Our football
who has the
team.
of the one-loss teams? Who has the worst loss? Texas Tech against Arizona State.
Yeah. Now they can argue that their backup quarterback played in that game. Doesn't matter, right? Like,
well, he also won them a game.
Yeah, he did.
So if you're gonna give him credit for the win, then you got to give him credit for the loss. But to me, Tech is a wild card. Oregon, I understand. I mean, they lost to number 2 Indiana,
but they got their butts smashed.
Yeah,
do you remember the score of that game? Do you have that?
It was like 50-7.
Yeah, and then Ole Miss. I mean, arguably
they lost. Was it by 10 to Georgia? I think it was.
But that's a good loss to me. I mean,
Indiana, Oregon was 30-20.
Oh, it was only 10.
Oh,
okay.
I don't hate that.
I think it was a late touchdown.
Yeah.
I honestly, I see Ole Miss being higher. I I don't know. I think they're looking at the body of the work, and I think to Ryan's point, though, there is the recency effect of A&M has not looked good the last 3 weeks. You have this catastrophic game against South Carolina that was on pace to be 70-0, and then you've got Sanford, and then you've got a bad loss against not a bad loss against Texas. Texas is a good football team, but you didn't look good. You don't pass the eye test, and so that's going to weigh on the voters' minds. Look,
but in November, you beat Missouri by 21. And a game that I told you a little while ago, I didn't think we looked that good.
I don't either, man. And that's, again, you beat Missouri with their backup, and that quarterback was not going to win them a game. Yeah. I mean, he was like 5 of 17. They had, 60 yards passing? And yeah, your point was well taken. That could have something to do with our defense. Absolutely it did. Like the Mike Elko effect, he pressured that kid. They weren't going to be able to overcome that. No team is, right? If your quarterback's that bad, it's over. So I'm not saying it jades that loss, but I would say Bo Probola starts against us. That's a different game.
Yeah, I still think we win that day, though.
I think we win. But I think it's a different competitive ball game.
Missouri. Yeah.
No, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, I was rambling. You were right to fade out on me. Ignore me.
But the way we feel today at this desk is more because of the recency bias, or not recency bias, but just how we feel about the effects of the Texas loss.
No, it's the trend of this football team. To Ryan and your point, it's since LSU, this team is on a decline, performance-wise. The overall offense, special teams, defense, all three phases have petered, right? You want a team that is getting better and that peaks in week 12. Not peaks, but is playing their best football at the end of the year. You want to get hot late.
Yeah, I want a team that's playing at least 3/4 of above average football, competitive football.
So can one game change that completely? Bama comes here December the 20th, whatever the day is, and A&M beats them by 10. Does that change everything?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's win or go home at that point. I mean, it's got to. But the belief, I guess, if you're from an outsider like us, I think it changes the narrative. Okay, hey, this is a team that's figured it out. They're going to have a chip on their shoulder, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be grinding. I think that loss could be the best thing.
I agree, man. I think that this, as much as it hurts, I think that they're going to learn from this. It's going to put a bad taste in their mouth. And I think they're over there in that building right now, putting in the work, watching film, studying. They're getting ready because they didn't like that feeling.
Right.
And so sometimes it's good to experience some of that adversity, especially when you're undefeated. And now we're strapping it up, ready to go. We're pissed off.
And you know what else is a blessing to these guys? We don't have to play in the championship, which I know as A&M, it would probably have been a better thing for us to have an SEC title. But getting healthy, right? We have guys that are nicked up at key positions. Ruben Owens, Craver. You go through the list of guys.
Get Le'Veon hopefully back.
Hopefully get Le'Veon back, and he gets time to get in shape and be productive. To me, I think that could really help our football team. Not to say every football team in the country is not nicked up and hurt this time of year. They all are. That's part of football. But 3 weeks for our football team could really set us in the right direction. And I promise you this, Mike Elko will be grinding on them right now. And reminding them every day about how bad they played against Texas and that they are going to be remembered as the little brother of Texas. And what a great mindset for them to have. That would piss me off.
It would piss me off too, man. It still does.
You're not even playing here. I know how mad you are.
I know
it could be a great thing for an athlete to be in this position.
Well, Ohio State. Look at Ohio State last year.
Yeah.
They lost to Michigan, and nobody remembers that Michigan winning that football game.
It's true.
They all
except Michigan.
Except Michigan. Yeah, exactly.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate you both.
Appreciate it, man.
Brad's Running Company, located at Century Square. They're Aggie owned and operated. They're a specialty running store with all the outstanding shoes you're looking for in running gear. Shoes like brands like Brooks, On, and Hoka. They're passionate about running and finding the right shoe for you. Mike runs that place. He's amazing. His daughters have just started a company not long ago, maceandhay.com. Haley and Macy are two Aggie sisters, native to College Station, fourth-generation Aggies. And they wanted to rep Aggie spirit in a sweet, stylish, comfortable way while studying or sleeping or cheering. And what they did is they launched this awesome pajama company, right? Their pajamas feature original artwork inspired by A&M traditions, giving that classic Aggie spirit, feminine, timeless twist. Check it out right now by going to maceandhay.com. That is maceandhay.com. Go check them out.
All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Around college football, brought to you by Milliken Reserve, a College Station community that has homes, trails, farms, wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. Take part in the Milliken Reserve community with a Conservancy membership. Learn more at millikenreserve.com. The amount of phone calls, text messages, and comments that I got from humans all over the place, okay, in just College Station, that said, hey, dude, does Aaron Torres hate you now? Do you hate him? Do you guys going to fight? What's going to happen? Are you guys cool? Yes, we're still cool. We texted after that hit. Aaron Torres on the Puppies Catering and Bartending Hotline. What's up?
Hey, bud. Yeah, no, I got a few of those too. So I forgot, first of all, that we did not speak last week. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Okay, so let's establish I'm not anti-David Nuño in any way, and I hope you had a great holiday. I think I may have said this on air, but I also texted you privately. So the college football TV show on Tuesdays, I think actually brings out the worst discourse among all college football fans. And so let me take this moment to say, not only do I not have beef with David Nuño, I actually misinterpret your take for a crappy one that I've heard nonstop, or at least in that moment I had heard nonstop. So definitely no beef with David Nuño. I think I just have beef with dumb college football fans in general. Now, I think A&M has largely stayed away from the fray. Smartest college football fan base in America, obviously. By the way, while we're one, have zero beef with you, and I apologize if it came off as any other way. Two, the new dumbest conversation on college football. We're going to cancel all these out-of-conference games.
Hey, AT, let me pause you real quick, buddy. You are sounding like you're in a computer. Oh, that's on us? Oh, okay.
Really?
Okay.
Oh.
Hey, can we send you a Zoom link, AT, real quick? And it doesn't have to be on camera, just so, because you're coming in really bad.
Can you just call me back?
We can try. Yeah. We'll
try.
We'll try.
Blame Emily over in the studio over there.
Okay. We'll do it. Call him back here in a moment. All right. Anyway, see? Aaron and I weren't going to fight. We're buds. You can be passionate about college football takes, right?
Yeah, you can.
And I do recognize that sometimes when I get animated, it comes across like...
You're fired up. Passionate.
I'm passionate about my Aggie football team.
Yeah.
We're going to try again with computer model Aaron Torres, the AI version of himself. AT, hopefully we hear you a little better. Hey, buddy.
Hey, they heard me perfectly over at Brian Broadcasting. So if it's on anybody, I don't know what Nick Savage is doing behind the scenes there, but over at Brian Broadcasting, they hear me loud and clear. So
yeah, they're the ones who are complaining. Anyway, AT, let's get to that topic you brought up about canceling non-conference games because, well, I mean, it's not the first time I've heard it, but at the end of a season, I find it very interesting.
Well, I find it very interesting. Sark has already run it back. We're not canceling the Ohio State game next year. Of course you're not, because it's going to bring maybe $100 million in revenue to your city at a time when college sports is all about growing revenue. Listen, I don't know how big of a talking point it is. I know how last week ended for Texas and Texas A&M, and I think they deserve credit for the wins that they do have. They also have something that no one else in there's going to be 5 teams in the SEC that make the college football playoff. I believe Bama is in win or lose. Texas is the only one with a bad loss, and a bad loss in SEC play. Okay, and whatever we think about, how great the SEC is, this and that, the bottom of the league was absolute dreck this year. South Carolina was terrible. Florida was terrible. Auburn was terrible. Arkansas was terrible. Somehow, Ole Miss, A&M, Alabama, Georgia, and Oklahoma all managed not to lose to any of them, and Texas took the worst loss out of all of them. So we can go whatever direction you want from there, but this notion that Texas is somehow getting screwed for scheduling Ohio State is just preposterous.
AT, look, I have maroon goggles on right now when I make this comment, so I'd like your perspective. I think A&M deserved the drop, and maybe even significantly from what happened against Texas. But I think 7 was a bit unfair because, and the way I look at it is, if we use all the same metrics, and it's not supposed to matter when you lose, but if A&M lost that game week 4, week 8. The same way. Everything's the same except you change the timing. I don't think they fall to 7. I think they fall to 5 or 6. Am I wrong for thinking that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think overall the committee, whether they intend to be or not, they are reactionary to the moment. And I think it's just, let me put it this way: it sucks because of when the loss happened. Obviously, we know when Texas is on the calendar, but I don't know what else you're supposed to do when other teams win. And it just sucks because you don't have time to make up for it, right? Like Miami, whatever we think of Miami, I think they're fine. I don't think they're great, but they did take losses early enough where they had time to kind of build some momentum back up. A&M just obviously isn't going to have that. And so, yeah, I think what you're saying is right. I just don't think there's any world that we live in where we look at all losses objectively. And by the way, let me even, and I'll be quick on this, but the counter to that is if you did it the other way and you didn't punish teams in real time when they lost, then the committee would be accused of bias the other way as well. So when the loss happened is super unfortunate, but it doesn't change the fact that, at some point, they were going to be shuffled up in the rankings, and it just so happened that it was the final week of the regular season.
So when looking at the teams that are ahead of them, who's got the worst loss?
Of the teams ahead of
So
them,
you got Texas Tech that lost to Arizona State. Oregon got smashed by Indiana. Ole Miss lost to Georgia. And Texas A&M lost to Texas.
Well, let me ask you this. Do injuries matter? I mean, Texas Tech's only loss was without their starting quarterback, So,
yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That was rude. Go ahead, AT. Go ahead.
Well, we're besties, so I don't mind when you cut me off. So cut me off all you want, buddy. Go ahead. It's your show.
No, I was going to say, but you're the guest, and I want you to feel like you're at home. I won't use usted with you. I'll use tu. My thing is yes, injuries should matter, but it's kind of like with the Missouri quarterback earlier, Zollers, right? He looked really good against Vanderbilt. He looked bad against A&M. Looked good the next week, right? So there's that. There's the fact that Le'Veon Moss has been gone since February, and it really has affected the running game for A&M. So I say that yes, they should matter, but if you gave the Texas Tech, and Stephen McGee made this point in the last segment, I'm stealing it from him. If you give him credit for the win that he gave them, you can also give him one of the losses too.
It's tough, and that's where injuries are always that thing where it makes sense in the moment when you're making the argument, but it's just so easy to pick apart. And then how far down do you extrapolate it? And it's funny. I remember years ago, David, there was, I don't know how I remember this, college basketball tournament. Notre Dame was on the bubble, and they made this big case about, 9 of our 11 losses or whatever was without our best player. And then it was well, then what about this team that had 7 of their 10 losses without their best player? And so that was the only reason I brought it up. And I didn't say that Texas Tech doesn't have the worst loss. I said, how do you factor in injury? Mm-hmm. And so that's where I don't know where that line of demarcation is with the injury stuff, because I think, to your point, everybody has injuries this time of year. And you could argue absolutely, by the way, that A&M, of course, has been playing without their most, I don't know if it's the most important offensive player, but certainly in the short conversation with Le'Veon Moss.
AT, what's going to happen this weekend before I let you go?
It's funny. I was talking to your bestie, Ryan Fowler, yesterday. I have no great feel. I'll give you a bold pick. I think Indiana upsets Ohio State. I actually think they win that game outright. But in Atlanta, I just don't know. Brought up this great point when Alabama used to have a Nick Saban, or Georgia used to have a Nick Saban problem. Now they apparently just have an Alabama problem because they lost to Kalen DeBoer. And so I don't know if it's psychological. I don't know if it was a bad matchup. All I would say very quickly is that Georgia is clearly playing the better football right now. I would give them the edge. I know what history tells me. That's one that I'm just going to kind of kick my feet up, get ready for Fox Sports Radio and watch with no preconceived whatever. I'll take Georgia. I don't feel good about it. by the way, not for today's show, but I think there's a bigger picture conversation to have about conference championship games in general. But if you're asking me about this one specifically, I'll take Georgia, but I don't know that I feel great about it.
All right, I lied. I'm going to ask one more follow-up. If Bama loses, should they be out?
Yeah, I don't, so let me say this. No, I don't think they should be. I think there's an exception to every rule. I think if they lose 72-0, it's a conversation worth having. But what I would also say is I thought the committee was strategic in putting them ahead of Notre Dame, and then they claim it's all that great Iron Bowl when they came down to the final drive or two of the game. The reality is they moved Alabama ahead of Notre Dame so that if Alabama if Alabama loses, you can't move Alabama ahead of Notre Dame if they were to lose on Saturday. So they moved them ahead of Notre Dame this week for that specific reason so that they could eliminate have to bump them up with a loss. So yes, I think Alabama's in. Again, I think there's an exception to every rule. I think if they lose 65-0 and Ty Simpson limps off with a sprained ankle, it's a different conversation, but I would be stunned if they're not in.
AT Bestie, appreciate you, bud.
No problem. Sorry for the miscommunication 2 weeks ago, and I do hope that you and everybody listening had a great Thanksgiving, and can't wait to see what the bracket unveils on Sunday.
Thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye. Very nice of him to wish me a Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. That was very nice. And I'm thankful for his friendship. And I'm also thankful for Heritage Films. A dear friend of mine, Chance McClain, who I am going to see here shortly. Chance is going to be in town. I can't wait to see him. One thing I do know, and I really mean this, all right, I'm gonna put Scoon on blast. Scoon, do you love your family?
Yes, I love my family.
How much do you love your family?
A lot.
Do you want your children to love your family as much as you do?
Yes, I
do. You want their children to?
Yes.
Do you want them to understand the history of your family?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Why have you not called Chance McClain up right now? You should do it on the air at 713-893-8341 and asked him for a family documentary. There's people important in your family, right?
Oh, yeah.
They should tell that story, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know anybody who owns a ranch?
I do. Well, no, I do not. Actually,
okay,
no.
well, let's pretend like you did.
Okay.
All right, for this, let's just pretend like your grandfather owns a ranch.
Okay.
Wouldn't you want that ranch story told?
Oh, I do. 100%.
Okay. Do you have somebody in your family that owns a business?
Not
okay, we're going to pretend again. Okay. Let's pretend that this family business of yours is really important to you, okay? Okay. Would we want that story told?
100%.
All right, if you don't tell that story, who's going to know the story?
Nobody.
Exactly. See, Schoonover tells you what to do.
Yep.
The website is yourheritagefilm.com, yourheritagefilm.com, 713-893-8341. It's Heritage Films.
We are back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Just found out that Carson Baker, what did OB call him? The money maker, the yard maker?
The touchdown maker.
Touchdown maker,
yeah.
Has committed to Texas A&M. Has not signed, has committed.
And intends to sign.
So,
well, I would sure hope he intends to sign.
Well, I hope he intends to sign soon. I don't like waiting. I like things to happen right away. Anywho, great news, and we talked a lot about it yesterday on the signing day show. So awesome. Luke Evangelist is here to talk a little ACC domination from the greats from the SEC, Texas A&M.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it domination from the conference as a whole, but A&M, Bucky McMillan and Joni Taylor both won their SEC ACC Challenge game. You can't ask for much better than that.
Yeah, so I watched most of the game on Tuesday. And the part where I left is when Pitt made their run. Okay,
you were probably the reason.
I might have been the reason.
You turned the game
right. Now I know A&M took care of business to close it out.
Yeah.
But what are some takeaways from that Pitt game?
They showed a lot of fight. This was, for whatever reason, this team loves to get up by 12 with 10 minutes left. They did the same thing against UCF and they blew it.
Yeah.
But this one was a little bit in their control and then out of their control because it was Mackenzie Mbako who got the tech. It looked like this dude swung on him first, but Mackenzie, he needs to be able to control his emotions in that moment. I still thought it should have been a double technical. It was just on Mackenzie. Pitt gets the ball. They go on a 16-0 run, and A&M goes from up 12 to down 4. And you're like, okay, here we go. They didn't score for 5 minutes. This is a repeat of the UCF game. This team has learned nothing. They're regressing. All the negative thoughts, I'm sure, from people who were cliff jumping on the boards watching the game. But much like they did against Montana, winning the game at the free throw line, much like they did against Florida State, they executed at a really high level down the stretch and were able to take the lead with about a minute left after being down with about 2.5 minutes left. Just put together a lot of great possessions. Jakari Lane with 6 points, 2 assists, and a steal in the last 5 minutes alone. He looked really great running the offense down the stretch, and they make 13 straight free throws to close the game out. Very efficient at the line. They made 91% for the game. So main takeaways are they showed a lot of fight with a lot of momentum going against them late in the game on the road. I know it's not the best opponent in the country, but it is a Power 5 team that wanted to play the exact opposite of the way they did. And I think that
for the most part, they played the A&M style.
Yeah, that was what I wanted to see was a team that's really slow against buckyball that's really fast. Is A&M going to make them play their pace? And they did. And ultimately, I think that's the biggest takeaway is that buckyball passed its first Power 5 test against a team that wants to do the exact opposite. And you know that this style can work against teams that don't want to play that way. And A&M was still able to pull them into that type of game.
So how do we look at what they've done this non-conference now?
That's a good question because they haven't played their most important game yet. So it's tough to judge.
Mm-hmm.
But if you would have told me this team didn't have their first full practice together until the first Monday in December, and then you told me they were 7-2, I would have taken that all day in the preseason. So they obviously, you would have loved to have had that UCF game back. There's no chance in heck they were beating Oklahoma State just that early in the year. They were shell-shocked on the road. If they had beaten that UCF game, I'd be like, okay, they're ahead of schedule. Like they are 8-1 heading into the SMU game. No matter what happens there, they've had a great non-conference, and their tournament hopes are very much alive heading into SEC play. At 7-2, I feel good about where they stand. If they win the SMU game, they are ahead of schedule. If they lose that game, they've got work to do in conference play just with how the SEC is looking right now. But overall, with the outside circumstances of your 2 best players being in and out of the lineup, not being full strength until December, I like where they sit at 7-2. I think they've grown every time they've stepped on the floor, and ultimately that's all you can really ask for at this time in year 1.
How different are they with Mbako out on the floor? Sounds like a stupid question, but I mean, he's clearly their most decorated player.
Yeah, he hasn't reached his full potential yet, and that's expected when you haven't practiced with your entire team until December, and he didn't play basketball for the 2 months leading into the season. So it's going to take him some time. He didn't play well against Pitt. He played really well against Mississippi Valley State, but so did everyone on the team. And then he had a decent game against Florida State. when he's on the floor, he spaces their offense out. You can just stick him in the corner and he'll get up threes and make a couple here and there. I know he didn't play well against Pitt, but he still made 2 threes, and they needed every single point that he gave them. Defensively, he's a bigger body that they need who can play his position and guard his position, which is not exactly a strong suit of this entire team. So he just gives you all-world talent, and even when he's having an off night, he's still going to give you some production and some energy. But he is by far the best player on the team, and when he gets healthy and when he gets implemented in this system and knows all the plays and know what his teammates like to do, he's going to be that much better, and this team will be even better.
And then you were very early on touting the importance of Aggie.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch the games, you see how important he is.
Yeah, I don't know if this team is 500 right now without Rashawn Agee. In the last 2 games, he's given you 38 points and 30 rebounds, back-to-back double-doubles, 21 and 13 against Pitt. I mean, he's just when you have somebody like him who can just slow the game down and get you a bucket inside and be that physical presence that we know this team is lacking because they're small and they're thin in the front court. He is just so important to this team. And then you add in the fact that he's the vocal leader and the team culture is totally different without him. You just cannot say enough good things about Rashawn Agee and what he brings. And he truly is the most important piece on this team. Like we said it in the offseason, thank goodness he won his court case. I don't want to imagine what this team looks like without him. He's been really crucial, and he sets the tone for this team. But, I'm never going to complain about 13 rebounds and 21 points from your guy at the 5 that some people didn't think. Like USC just kind of gave up on his waiver situation and didn't want to wait to see what would happen with him. And thank goodness Bucky McMillan and his staff took a chance on Rashawn, and it's 100% paid off right now.
Basketball mind, Luke Evangelist here on TexAgs Live. Thank you, buddy.
Of course. Thanks for
Appreciate
having
you.
me.
Good job.
Big one against SMU.
Yeah. When does that tip off?
Sunday at 4 p.m.
Sunday 4. Go on.
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right, good. Twin Liquors makes it easy to celebrate every sip this holiday season with 100 locations across Texas. They're in your neighborhood, and you can also shop online for pickup or delivery. Plus, they have same-day delivery for just $5. Gifting made easy with complimentary bag-and-bow gift wrap, or you can create your own custom gift basket online or in the store. And they have deals of the week every week at Twin Liquors every Thursday. A fresh selection of the items offered at fantastic prices. You can shop those deals in-store and online. And if you're a wine lover, Twin Liquors has this holiday sale going on now. 20% off 6+ bottles of wine. Shop now through January the 3rd. And you can also pick up one of their new cocktail combo packs at Twin Liquors. So check it all out there at twinliquors.com. It is Twin Liquors. Go visit them, please. I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar. I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going? You use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst.
Hey, I'm on the air. As a reminder, it's the final segment of the program at 10:50. Not now. Don't get confused. Caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggie Land since 1984 with your favorite pizza. And, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls, reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. We go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center, and we check in with Alex Schoonover. And I forget how it was phrased. I won't even put our colleague on blast, but somebody did mention something about batting practice.
Yeah, Chase in Houston, who asked that really good question at the Go Hour, said, why is Luke wearing a 1990s batting practice top that's 3 times his size?
I don't know how to respond to that. I don't know how to respond to that. What else can you provide of substance this morning, young Alex Schoonover?
So this guy is in the text chat. His name's Wink.
Wink.
His name's Wink.
What up?
And he has a pretty good question we can talk about real quick. Do you think having Moss back will help the offense and the defense out?
Well, both.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, I think Ruben Owens has been really, really good this year, right? Really good. He didn't have his best game against Texas. Nobody did, right? I think he's been really good. But if you're telling me I can get the guy that starts over him too, right? Like,
yeah,
you know, and that's not a slight at Ruben. It's just Le'Veon's been here longer, and he's been our most productive running back over the last few years, right? Since A-Chain. So, yeah, does that help the yes, because in fourth and short, third and short situations, EJ's been really good. I love Le'Veon. How about running through a fool's face? Moss will do that.
Yeah.
America. I don't know. I get so excited sometimes when I talk about him.
Passionate. Fired up.
All right, let's hit a break. When we come back here on TexAgs Live, Sutton Turner, Roy May, Hunter Shurtleff, the Fan Show guys are all here. I guarantee you one of them will say something that'll make us cringe. The other two will probably say something that'll make us cringe as well. It's TexAgs Live. Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Fan Show presented by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs for $50 once you play in $5 lineups. I didn't do the song part, so we do it again. Everybody, welcome into the
Fan Show.
Thank you very much. Sutton Turner making his triumphant return. It's been a few months.
Yeah.
Good to see you, buddy.
man.
Hunter Shurtleff, hello, sir.
Good morning.
Roy May, hey.
Hello.
Hey, putting it on. All good.
The magnet broke.
So let's do this. Let's go to young Alex Schoonover, who does love his family. And Alex, you know what to ask at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Start us off with the hardest question of the day. And who gets it, by the way?
I'm going to go with Mr. Shurtleff. And I'm just going to ask you what's on your mind?
Well, besides the extreme disappointment from last week, but it feels like a month ago now for some reason, even though I'm still pissed about it. Selfishly, right? And for the team, but I wanted to go to Atlanta.
I did too.
I had hotel, I had air, I had open table reservations. So anyways, instantly canceling button, Friday night. But now we're on to this college playoff ranking. I called it. I called it last week. They're going to bump us down to 7. I mean, we'd be sitting at a 7. Yeah. And now I'm concerned because BAS is set in, right? Let's just say what it is. Now I'm concerned if things go right for certain teams, bad for us, we're looking at a 9 spot. Now that would be hard to stomach an 11-1 SEC team sitting at 9. But I'm just saying, I'm not going through it all because you'll go crazy.
Yeah, I'm already going crazy just hearing this.
Right, pull our hair out. BYU wins, Bama wins. Do they jump Texas A&M, right? Because Tech wouldn't fall that far. Maybe BYU's they're 12-1 and a conference champion now. Bama's a conference champion of the toughest conference in America. Those type of things. Anyway, so
you don't think BYU beating Tech would help A&M maybe in that world?
No.
Tech would have 2 losses.
Maybe Tech would have 2 losses, and then you'd get that. Well, that was a championship game, and they. I don't know. I don't know because I do.
That's what Elko's complaining about because he doesn't know how.
I agree, and Luch went off yesterday, and I loved it because I'm with him on that. It's just super frustrating, and it's kind of like they're picking teams and then adjusting their analysis to make it fit. So I'm worried, is what I'm saying. BAS is full eruption. Right? We got the SEC championship game taken away from us. We lost to our rival. We're dropping in the rankings. Flared up.
Yeah, I get it.
And here's my problem, because we didn't play. We saw an A&M team, although like every other team had some flaws during the year, that was not us Friday night.
I agree with that. And I hate that we were not us because of the team that we played against. Yeah. I already know, like when you have like a Rottweiler or a pit bull in a cage, you start rattling the cage, I know this guy already texted me. He's got opinions, so I'm a little worried. Not that we need the dump button, but Sutton, you've got some opinions. What's on your mind?
Well, since I was a senior at A&M, we have not had this elite of a season. Fall of '92, and I wanted to attend every game this year as it went on because I felt like I would be 91. If the next time it would hold, because it took us from 92 to 2006 to get here. I might be with Jesus the next time we do this again. So I went to all the games, Notre Dame, Arkansas, Missouri, Tech, LSU, and then to Austin. And, there are some amazing fan groups that we get to go to. Auburn, to me, the best fan group was Clemson in 18. Missouri was great. But I got to tell you, I hadn't been over there in Austin for a long time. And it's changed. The school that your wife went to and the school that my wife went to is not that same fan base. That is a professional football fan base.
I said the same thing to OB when we got there.
The guy that was sitting in front of me and my daughter, class of 22, other daughter, class of 26, we had to sit behind this guy in his suede maroon pants with fringe, and he just would not. It was just the whole time.
Suede burnt orange?
Burn orange.
Okay.
You said maroon.
Yeah,
I was like,
sorry.
I was like, what?
Maroon,
we
sorry.
know better.
This guy,
That wasn't
finally in the third quarter, find out, guess where he went to school? Baylor.
Oh, wow.
That's not.
And I mean, the
that's not
whole
normal crossover.
time, it's true professional football T-shirt fans, people that did not go to school there. And I know there's a lot of Aggies, OB being one, Browning being another, that didn't go to A&M, but they respect the school and our traditions, and they love the institution. Those people over there, man, it's a whole another deal. When we left, I told my daughters, like, if we turn the ball over on this drive, we're out of here. And as soon as Marcel threw that second pick, we grabbed everything, and because I knew it was going to get bad. Walking out of there, and we're all in the Aggie section, so I mean, Aggies are flooding trying to get out of there, and the hostile environment of walking out of there. I mean, it was worse than LSU, and people yelling at us and super close, trying to get in fights, and I'm just trying to get out of there. One Aggie turns to me. This guy is just relentless, talking to us, talking trash to us. And the guy turns to him and goes, well, when did you graduate from Texas? He goes, why does that matter? I hope that our school never gets like that. I would rather be an 8-4 team and have a fan base that is a fan base that respects the institution and does not turn into a professional football fan base. Because I'll never go back there, ever. Even if I have a grandkid that wants to go back there. I just won't. I won't. And I see that happening, and it might happen in other places across America where there's not a professional football team, and that is their professional football fan base. But I hope we never get there, and because I do love going to away games.
Let me throw in there, while I don't disagree with anything you said, I felt very similar emotions. I hate saying it after a loss. I wish we could have said the same thing after a win.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It just feels different after a loss, right? Like,
no doubt, but and we're a dying breed, Sutton, so I think there's maybe some younger fans in our crowd that's like, hell with that. Let's be mean and be a-holes and win. We can win too. But you're right. Look, we probably bring out the worst in that fan base, but they're a different, right, demographic, fan base wise. I agree with you, but they bring out the worst in us.
Yeah, they do.
I've been a bunch, and I wasn't going to go back. So, yeah.
Hey, Roy.
Why can't we be nice and win?
Yeah.
Straight up. Like, we love to complain about other fan bases, and I get that. Like, I've been to Baton Rouge. I won't go to Austin. I don't know why you went. That's crazy. Like, I hope you took a shower directly after. But it becomes so frustrating. And what's on my mind? Hey, Aggie basketball. Let's go, right? Men and women both beating the ACC SEC challenge. But it's just one of those things. And my buddy posed this question to me on our podcast earlier this week, and it actually kind of got me thinking after the fact, because the way I answered it, I felt pretty good about it because I didn't know he was going to ask it, right? So those are the best questions when you don't see them coming. They're not scripted. Do we have a Texas problem?
I think, I'm not going to steal your thunder on what's on your mind. I think maybe this Colin Klein offense has a Pete K problem.
Yeah.
Well,
right? And that happens in football with some coordinators.
I'm not saying just football.
Okay.
I mean, do we press too hard when we play Texas?
I don't know.
Do we put too much into it?
All fall, we've been doing pretty good against Texas. So soccer, volleyball, we're beating their ass and everything, weren't we?
We lost the most recent game to Texas in volleyball, but yeah,
in a tournament.
And not long ago.
Well, see, and I didn't.
We dominated them in baseball for a couple years. This last year, we did not.
Well, and I'm in your camp. I don't think we have a Texas problem. I think it's a little emotional. I asked that question, 4 days, and again, Thanksgiving feels like it was 2 months ago. But it's a little emotional to pose that question directly after having lost to the Sips. But specifically in that game, I think it was very easy to say that we were pressing, not specifically because it was Texas.
I don't think anybody's going to argue that. Yeah.
But we saw it last year too against Texas, right? So I think being more specific the way you are is kind of nails on. I think it's a matchup issue. I don't think we have a problem with. I mean, I have a specific, very personal problem with Texas, but that's a whole nother discussion. But when it comes down to, I think it's specific matchups. Maybe it's not that we can't get over the hump and beat the Sips. It's not that. It's not. But it's if you go back all the way, let's encapsulate the last 3 years or so. The whole Schloss crap and just and now that we finally got to play them in football. Because the other sports were willing to play them, right? And I was glad that happened. Right. While we left and we just decided we weren't going to play. One of the greatest traditions in all of college football is us against the Lone Star Shootout, right? But other sports were willing to play, so we got to enjoy playing Texas and get them little ribs, and they could rib us when they beat us, and that's the joys of a rivalry, right? It's the worst part of the rivalry when you're on the other end of it, but it's the joy of the rivalry. And my mom said my uncle played football for Texas. All his kids are Sips. They all went to Texas. And so, I remember growing up going to Thanksgivings with family, and that was the thing, right? We were literally the house was burnt orange and it was maroon, and that was it, man. It was the greatest thing on the planet, and it was the worst thing on the planet. But that's the joy of rivalries, and to take it one step further, all this garbage about canceling hard out of conference matchups. We grew up with LSU non-conference in the Southwest Conference. That was the marquee game of the year, man.
Awesome. What a great way to start the year.
Outside of Texas, that was the game every year. Right. And it's just what makes it so painful is what makes it so great.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Well, this university, do people grip and get a little tight for those games? Yeah, but it leads to heroics or chokes sometimes too. So
and I think there's two different generations as it relates to playing the Sips. I come from the generation that we never considered the national championship. It was the Thanksgiving game, and you could be, you could have 6 losses, but you beat the Sips, and it was a great year. And then you go to the Cotton Bowl, and it was fun, and you're like, if we win, great, and typically we didn't. We would face Notre Dame or Florida State, but you never were thinking about winning a national championship when I was in school. Even though, the whole time I was in school, we didn't lose a home game, but you didn't consider the national championship as a possibility. It was about setting yourself up to beat Texas on Thanksgiving Day. Now, I think that because we're in the SEC, because we recruit differently, because the program is in a different place, it's a whole different ball game now that you could actually lose to the Sips and win a national championship. I firmly believe if the team that played the second half at LSU, if we play 4 games like that, we're going to be a contender for the national championship. I don't know, besides Ohio State, somebody that's going to beat that explosive, defense suffocating team. However, we've also seen the other side of our team, which is not a very good team.
Well, I want to throw in this thought about the whole Texas and environment and whatnot. Look, I recognize that I did not like the environment because they were dominating the fourth quarter. I recognize that has a lot to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
But I can also tell you, and I hate talking about it after a loss. Me personally,
Right,
because it's just hollow,
yeah,
right?
sour grapes.
So, and my wife went to Texas. She's great.
Yep.
Your wife,
Yep.
one of my best friends in the world, Rahil's amazing. There's a lot of great Texas fans. This is not
100%.
right, and there's some bad Aggie fans.
Yep.
No doubt. But for me, my game day experience is probably the lowest, not because of who they are, just what I experienced.
Right.
Notre Dame was amazing. Yes, we won the game. I've been to South Carolina twice. Lost both times we've been there. That's an amazing experience.
It's awesome.
Right? Ole Miss is fun. I hate Baton Rouge.
Right.
It's probably low on the list, but it's an amazing experience. I don't like it. Tuscaloosa couldn't be better, even in a last-second loss.
Yep.
Tuscaloosa is amazing.
Amazing.
So for me personally, it feels weird as the host of TexAgs to say that after a loss to your rival.
Right.
I was saying it from the moment I walked in, and I don't like saying it today. I would wish I could have said it after a win, but we don't get that.
That's right.
They made the adjustments in the second half. And the weird part, guys, A&M, I thought, played so poorly in that game, they actually had a chance to win. which is weird to me because they got dominated in the second half.
100%. 100%. That's how good this team can be.
Or
it's a high floor.
But do you guys buy into what McGee and Swope were talking about? That look, we can win. That version of LSU can beat anybody in the country,
100%.
right? But trending the last month, trending in the wrong direction.
Right, yeah, and that's what Swope was kind of banging on, was just the fact that it's a consistency issue, and we haven't seen this team put together 4 quarters. And at this point, like you said, it's trending over the last few. We feel like, we haven't fallen off because it's not like we lost a lot of games, right? But man, South Carolina was so you kind of look at what we had to do to win those games, and so now that you have all these data points and you can look back, you go, well, crap, which way are we trending? But like this team is just completely schizophrenic. It's like Jekyll and Hyde. I have no idea what team is going to show up at the next game in what quarter.
That kind of team can't win a national championship if you don't know against the elite teams the rest of the way.
Absolutely.
Because now, because of the rankings, we'll get it on in the next segment. I know Hunter touched on it. Because of the rankings, you are going to have to take on teams. I mean, in the playoffs, you should be taking on great teams.
Well, it's good. Yeah, I mean,
but your first round matchup is against a team, could be against a team that could have been a top 4 seed.
100%.
Right?
Oh, absolutely.
So,
it's going to, yes, I agree with you. The fact that I think that game on Friday changed when Marcel got hurt. I feel like that we did not risk his health. We did not run him like we were doing in the beginning of the game. And I surely hope that we will risk it all when we play in 2 Fridays from now.
Yep. And I have to say this. I hate doing it on our show too, but I got to give them credit. Sark made the adjustments in the second half.
100%.
And that fan base, who I had heard a lot of bad stuff about, they were loud.
Oh, they were super loud.
They were super loud, and they did affect the game.
They're either loud or they throw water bottles. They're pretty much one end of the spectrum or the other.
This is true. All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back. We'll talk some rankings. When it comes to your money and your peace of mind, it starts with the right team. And Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors is an independent fiduciary serving clients across Texas. No commissions, no sales pitches, just trusted advice tailored to you. And they have a team of 18 professionals, including 9 CFPs, a CFA, and a CPA. And their expertise does run deep at Paragon because credentials matter, and so does your future. Visit paragon-adv.com or call them up 979-693-3907 to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors. Integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors.
And we're back. The Fan Show, presented by Prize Picks. No, we weren't talking bad about anyone or anything. No. He's actually right here and here. So I'm just kidding. Anyway, let's talk about those rankings again. Opie and I opened up the show with this. The competitor in all of us. I don't care who we play.
I do.
Right? No, the competitor. Like, let's go. Like Coach Elko says,
Put the ball down
let's go.
We'll play. Yeah.
The statistics would say an easier path would be the way to go when it comes to winning a national championship.
Absolutely.
If at all possible, I would like to play. Can we play Samford in the first round, quarterfinals, and semifinals? Like, can we just back to back? We'll go home and away.
I agree with that.
Samford.
Yeah. Look, guys, Indiana caught a lot of flack last year from this show, and I think they deserved to go to the playoffs last year, but they didn't play anyone. Right? Remember that was the big thing about them last year.
Same thing this year for them, actually.
Yeah, but they don't catch the strays like they did last year because they did it
right. Because now they're semi-established.
So I think that's what A&M is kind of going through. Like, okay, fine. You want to talk about the schedule? That's fine. Whatever. Like, Coach Elko already presented his point for why it's a ridiculous argument. But okay, fine. If A&M is back in the same position next year, I think those conversations go away a little bit. Not completely, but a little bit.
We're calling this the Indiana model.
The Indiana model, the Signetti. We're going to call this the Signetti
the Hoosier.
model. But for what it means to today, I was surprised that they dropped to 7. I was surprised.
I'm not. I wasn't surprised because I don't think that we got or will get any of the benefit of the doubt. If you look at us, we're the worst ranked 11-1 team.
BYU.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And we will not get any breaks, even though the committee has said strength of schedule, strength of record matters. It doesn't. It really doesn't. And what's scary is that they convinced the SEC to go to 9 games based upon strength of schedule and strength of record was going to be a criteria. Well, as we know, that's not true. That's not happened. And it won't happen. And it's going to be huge that come on Sunday because I think it's going to be even more glaring that strength of record and strength of schedule do not matter. So I think we're going to continue to get hosed until we bust through and do it the hard way. And that's the only way for us to get on the other side of this narrative is we're going to either, I hope we don't have to go on the road in this playoff. I hope we don't absolutely get hosed and not host. But that's still a possibility to me. In my mind, is I can create a scenario to where we slide out of hosting a playoff game. But we have to win this tough, whether it's Bama, whether it's BYU, whether it's Notre Dame, OU, we're going to have to win this game, and then we're going to go on the road and probably play in Indiana, and we're going to need to win that game. Or the narrative's never going to change for us Aggies.
I think it'll be Georgia if we stay at 7 because I think Georgia will move up to 2 if they win the SEC championship game.
Yeah, what I think is going to happen, I think Bama's going to beat Georgia. Okay. I think we're going to bump to 8, and we're going to host OU. And we're going to beat OU's ass, and then we're going to go play Ohio State in the Orange in the Rose Bowl. I mean, you come here for information, right, folks?
Hey.
But that's not why.
I mean, that would be fun, though,
Bama
guys.
beating Georgia, it's like, that's not information. That was a
I don't know, with Jan Miller being out and all of their hurts, all their injuries at Bama, I don't.
I got Georgia winning. I have Tech destroying BYU.
And then everybody just kind of stays the same.
I think Ohio State might run Indiana out of the building.
Oof,
I think Ohio State is really good this year.
I think Indiana's good.
I think Indiana's good, but I think Ohio State is kind of the team this year. And then you can start having some fun. Like, what if Duke beats Virginia? For me, that's not a spot for anybody to move up into the rankings. So the AAC is Tulane and North Texas, right? They're both 11-1, right? Am I correct?
Right.
They're both 11-1, and
Oh no, Tulane's 10-2. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's Tulane's 10-2, and you have North Texas 11-1. If North Texas wins that and Duke beats Virginia, then North Texas is getting in. It's either North Texas or Tulane. If Duke were to beat Virginia, it's almost like a straight
Duke's
swap.
not getting
Okay, well,
Duke's not getting in.
But
under your scenario, then Georgia, Ohio State, and Tech. So all the chalk wins.
Yeah,
and it, like you said, the the ACC, AAC teams don't affect us. Chalk wins. We stay at 7. We're hosting whoever's going to be in the 10 hole.
I'm just saying we don't drop.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my biggest thing. I don't think we drop. I don't think we move up. I'd love to be in the 6.
Is there any world do you see that A&M can move up?
No. I do not see a way that we can move up.
If Tech just
who's the 5 and 6
lays some type of egg, I think they'll punish.
See, I see Oregon and Ole Miss are ahead of us. Yeah, so it would and that's my thing. It would take Ohio State doing to Indiana what Indiana did to Illinois, 66-3 kind of thing. It would be.
I get it, but that's just going to be one loss. I think that the opportunity for A&M to move up would be Texas Tech getting them a second loss,
and BYU would have to hand it to them too. I think a close win doesn't do it. BYU would probably have to go beat Tech by 20.
I don't think BYU is going to beat them.
Neither do I. But I'm saying I think that's probably the only scenario where I could see us moving up is Tech getting absolutely curb stomped.
So they're either playing Oklahoma or Bama.
Hmm.
Yep.
I just don't want to play Notre Dame again. I
don't want to play Notre Dame.
At least not the first round. I mean, eventually, if they're good, you're going to have to play them if we're good.
I see what you're saying. Because Bama would drop to the 10 spot if they lose.
Yeah.
But think about what Elko has done as far as changing. Prior to this year, we hadn't gone on the road and won a big game like we did at Notre Dame. Prior to this year, we hadn't won in Baton Rouge forever. Prior to this year, he has made some significant program changes to the narrative of Texas A&M. To me, the last narrative is for us to not just get in the playoffs, but to win a game in the playoff and host it over here. That would, again, now granted, if we're a month from now and we have beaten OU or Bama in Kyle Field at night on that Friday night, that would be a total change in the narrative. And then next year, you're right, the narrative changed just like Indiana's narrative has changed.
Right. Because we talked about these biases on the committee, and I don't think they're evil. There's some bad plan or somebody's getting to them.
They're just dumb.
But there's helmet bias. There's
100%.
a program. Those dudes on that committee, I mean, they're me and Sutton's age, or if not older. A lot of them are older, right? So there's I have an inherent Ohio State or Bama program bias. I know they're good. These other teams, I don't know. And you and AT talked about it, the loss recency bias.
Yep.
You get hammered for a week 11 or 12 loss. I mean, you don't, you get to make up for it in week 2. So.
Well, that's an interesting point, too. You talk about the committee, you talk about age, and whether you want to admit it or not, what do you think about Ohio State, Michigan? When you think college football, Ohio State, Michigan, right? Yeah, Texas, blah, blah, Alabama, you think of these names. What if BYU beats Tech? Tech is not a name. Tech has never been a name. Right. How bad will Tech get it if they lose?
I don't know. They seem to be some type of darling. I don't know, just because they're pasting these, patsies into the Big 12 or what.
But what if BYU goes in and wins?
I agree.
Tech is not a helmet that you think of.
Well, they should be punished. Then that means you lost to Arizona State and you've lost to BYU.
Well, and here's the thing. They have the metric to punish them, which is strength of record and strength of schedule. But they're not using that
I know.
On Tuesday night when the commissioner or whatever the guy's name, Yurachek, gets up there and says, he never talks about strength of schedule or strength of record. And that's the thing that they said before that was going to be a qualifying characteristic. And that's what's so frustrating to me is that it's there, but nobody's using it.
Well, Sankey has some work to do in that room.
By the way, Chase in Houston, our dear friend who's been on the show many times.
What up, dude?
He says he's calling it today. A&M's going to host Miami. Sign me up for that matchup.
Oh,
of the matchups. I don't want to play them either, but of the matchups, that's the one.
Look, at this point, whoever you play should be good.
Yeah.
But Chase needs to text me and walk me through that scenario. How they
I asked him for a why.
Yeah,
so
okay.
And I saw. I read in the Miami Herald this morning because I was kind of researching it, and it would take a BYU win, and there was one other win that would put Miami in, because then they would be looked upon with Notre Dame. Then they would be in the same pod, same equals.
Well, they'd be right next to each other.
Then you got a head-to-head.
And then you got the head-to-head.
Maybe
right next to each
maybe it's BYU and Duke.
I'm fine with that
scenario.
Maybe. I want no part of Jeremiah Love. So
no, thank you.
Yeah.
Again.
All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with a Prize Picks game. Right now, we're talking Caldwell Country Chevrolet. If you're looking for a selection that won't break the bank, check out the good people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They're just the real deal is they're south of those big city prices with no dealer add-ons. What you see is what you pay.
They are locally owned. They got an Aggie alumni team. They're ready to roll out the red carpet for you. And when you go there, you'll get a great selection of vehicles, amazing customer service, and it's going to continue to give back to you. And their pre-owned inventory is moving fast, which means you get top dollar for your trade-in. It's about a 15-minute drive. The edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. A short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and you do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell. Online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. All right, we're talking about Burlebo, the heart of Texas, more than an outdoor lifestyle brand. It's products created with you in mind. Currently, I'm wearing the performance polo, the Texas maroon and gray. If you look into it, you've got the state of Texas in gray, and you also got it in maroon. It's one of their highest, most popular sales that they have there. It is really nice. Comfort and versatility. You can wear it in any situation. Quick drying, fits the size. But Burlebo, they're rooted in tradition, fueled by passion for the outdoors. Designs high-quality apparel that works just as hard as you do. So whether you're hitting a workout, enjoying a day of fishing, or cheering on your favorite college team, their gear is made for the athlete, the outdoorsman, and the everyday adventure. And it's really nice. I wore this one to church the other day. People talked about it. Really, my kids were like, Dad, you look pretty good today. From athletic shorts to your favorite go-to tees and performance hoodies, they have everything you want. Check out Burlebo.com and find your new favorite gear. It's Burlebo for the athlete, for the outdoors, and for the family.
I got to read this from Chase in Houston. He said that A&M is going to host Miami, and the argument he posts is actually very believable.
Right.
Tech wins, so BYU would be out. Virginia wins, they are 11. The AAC will be 12. So then it comes down to Miami and Notre Dame being right next to each other. And the rankings at that point, they'll flip it because Notre Dame, due to the head-to-head, if they don't, it's going to cause a uprise that we've never seen. And he'll be at the Big 12 championship game, by the way, supporting Tech because his wife went there. So there you go.
Well, that's certainly plausible.
So here's the question.
The committee
Chase,
darling, Notre Dame getting punched out.
So is there a possibility, using Chase's logic, that we would face Notre Dame in any scenario? Because that's the one team I really don't want to play. I would rather play Bama. I'd rather play OU. I'd rather play Miami.
If they hang on to this 10 spot somehow, I mean, they can't move up, right? So you're not going to see them any higher.
Right. But to use Chase's logic, which I agree with, Miami, if they're next to each other, does that flip happen? And then there's no way for us to have to play Notre Dame. And I would prefer that.
Right? That is the ultimate holding their feet to the fire.
Yeah.
Because you have Miami, Notre Dame, and if the committee has to pick one, who won that game?
Right.
It better mean something.
And I don't care how early in the season it was.
No, I don't care. It's the season. We don't have preseason.
Well, he does say Alabama will lose and stay in the same spot. They won't get penalized for losing a title game.
I hope not.
I wouldn't think they would. I mean, unless they get their
Georgia. They didn't do that to SMU last year.
If Georgia beats them by 35, they're going to get penalized, but that's not going to happen. I think Georgia's going to win. It's not going to be a blowout, but I think Georgia's going to win.
All right, we're going to go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. We're going to play the Prize Picks game here. PrizePicks.com/TexAgs.
Hanover got subbed out.
It's Blanche.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Blanche Dubois. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good.
Of course you're doing good. Aggie basketball's.
Yeah, I got a big smile on my face. You can't wipe that smile off my face.
How are we doing in this game? Because I don't remember playing it
just
recently.
not good.
Yeah, I figured.
The last time we played, it was just a bunch of 500, 3-4, 4-4.
Why are your clothes too big?
Why is everybody keeps saying that?
It's the new style. That's what the kids are doing. They're going oversized. Why are your clothes
80s.
not big enough? What if I'm prepping for one day I'm going to get fat and I just want to be able to have my clothes still fit?
There was a baggy clothes phase in the 80s, by the way.
And everything about me screams 80s.
Yeah.
Like my
90s
mustache,
too.
my hair,
Yeah.
I just fit that really
About
well.
once a decade, the baggy thing comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bringing it back. I'm a fashion
Do you
trendsetter.
sag?
What?
Do you sag?
No.
I bet you Sutton's never sagged. Ever.
I have no idea what sagging is.
There it is.
You want to explain what sagging is?
It's where you wear your pants a little bit lower.
Yeah. Sagging below the.
Oh, Lord.
No, I'm a belt guy.
I have short legs.
No,
so, like, my
actually,
pants
sagging requires a belt, believe it or not.
Yeah, because you get such a big pants.
There comes a point where they drop, so you got to keep them up at some point.
All right, let's go to Prize Picks.
Yeah, let's play a game. Prize Picks is great. It's the daily fantasy sports leader, and let's get right.
Is there still a
into it.
promo thing or anything?
Yeah,
$50 when you play $5 lineups.
Yeah, there you go.
PrizePicks.com/TexAgs.
Hey, I tell you what, Prize Picks has not figured out that Ruben Dominguez exists and plays really well. So we've been making a lot of money on just taking the more than on his 2.5 threes or 3.5 threes. So would highly recommend getting in on that before.
Oh, they're not on the train yet.
They haven't picked up.
You don't
on
realize
it.
that he hasn't missed since 2009?
Yeah, until they put that number 5.5 threes, I'm going to continue to play with that.
Nice.
And so I did make $240 last week from the Pitt game alone, just Ruben Dominguez more than.
Luke got some pocket money.
That was fun to watch, man.
Yeah, that was great. Anyways, into the game this week, we've got Julian Sayin playing in the Big Ten Championship, more than or less than 231.5 passing yards.
Ooh.
I'll start. I'll go less than. I'm foreseeing a defensive slobber knocker for that one,
which doesn't play well for Indiana. I'll go less.
What are you thinking?
I'll go more than, just to be different.
Yeah, it's just like having Browning in the chair.
I think I'm going to go less than.
Good.
Gotcha. Fernando Mendoza on the other side.
Fernie.
The battle of the mid-off for the Heisman. Let's see, 210.5
Did you say the mid-off?
I meant the Big Ten off. The Big Ten off for the Heisman Trophy.
I thought you meant both quarterbacks were mid.
Did I say that out loud? 210.5 passing yards, more than or less than?
210.
I'm going to go less than.
What's the Mendoza line?
Actually, isn't that the Mendoza
Again,
line?
I'm going less.
It's a 210 or 240 is the Mendoza line. It's close.
Yeah, I think I'm going more than.
I'll go more.
By the way, I forgot to announce this. Carson Baker is now officially signed with Texas A&M. So
awesome.
Nice.
Hunter, what did you have on there? More?
I went less.
Less. All right. Ty Simpson, we're moving to the SEC championship. More than or less than 1.5 passing touchdowns?
More.
Less.
That guy's kind of dropped off, huh? Talking about fading. Yeah. We live in our little bubble, and we're worried about our guy. But anyways, go ahead.
How about a guy that's not falling off, that's only getting better? Gunnar Stockton, more than or less than 195.5 passing yards?
More. Baller.
More.
All right, all on the more than.
Yeah, I'll go more, too.
Zachariah Branch, the wide receiver from Georgia, more than or less than 58.5 receiving yards?
More.
No separation here. More.
And Ryan Williams on the other side, more than or less than 46.5 receiving yards?
Less.
God, remember we talked about him all the time?
Yeah, he was 17.
Yeah, for various reasons, less.
Youngest player to
His
ever.
dad's Jeff Kent.
I'm going to go more.
I'm going to go with.
Your roommates with Cole McCoy.
Yeah, more than.
We've got Bo Jackson, the
What?
More.
Tecmo Bowl?
The running back from Ohio State, more than or less than 72.5 rushing
His name is Bo, like B-O.
His name is Bo Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah, like Bo knows.
This is out of complete principle. It has to be more.
Well, I can't argue with that. Yeah.
More than.
If he'd spelled it like B-E-A-U, I'd have been like less, and that's a terrible take.
The number is what again?
70-something.
72.5.
Yeah, give me more.
And finally, Oscar Delp, the tight end from Georgia, more than or less
Oscar De La
than
Hoya?
Delp.
Oh,
I know that's what you thought you heard. More than or less than 11.5 receiving yards on his longest reception against Alabama.
What is
Now,
that?
hold on. This is a tough one. This is a real tough one because every game, like in the last 5 games, he's been averaging 21 yards on his longest reception. It's hit
I got
5
it right
games
here.
in a row. However, when Alabama plays Georgia, Matthew Dawson pointed this out to me. Last time they played, not a single reception for a tight end from Georgia.
36, 41, 20, 42.
Nothing about any of those prior games matters, though.
Right.
Correct.
That's my take on this.
Which is
right?
why
Delp was
it's a
banged
tough
up
one.
earlier, too.
Is he healthy?
Yeah.
No, yeah, early in the year.
Oh, okay. You know what I'll take? Was this a more or less, or is this a yes or no? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
you can go like more than 11
So his
and a half
longest
or less
reception
than.
will be 11.5 or more yards.
Or less. You can go less than.
Right, but that's it. Like that's how we're. Okay, I'll go more. Sure,
Yeah.
why not?
I'm going less.
I'm going more.
If he catches a pass, it'll go more than 11 yards. More than
11.5.
11 and a half.
Yeah, don't forget about that half.
It'll go 12.
Can I just push? Do we have a push in this situation?
No, that would break the whole algorithm.
Yes,
The
yes.
spreadsheet would explode and my computer would die. All right, that's all we got.
Jeez, man.
Thank you, Luke. Thanks for speeding through that. Appreciate
course.
you. We'll hit a break. When we come back on TexAgs Live, we're going to talk. That's it. That's what we have.
We're going to talk.
It was off. Well, Dave in Edmond, God bless, says, why is nobody on the entire planet surprised that Nuño sagged? I think that's kind of a dig. I think he's taking a
That Nuño what?
Sagged.
You don't sag. He just knew what it was.
Maybe in 94 I did.
Oh, wow.
Hey, and you know what?
For a little sag.
Bro, if you're from the Tyne, it is what it is.
What?
From the Tyne, let's
That's
go.
right.
Let's go.
Anyway, Schoonover definitely has never sagged Wranglers. Schoon, give us a text or something.
All right.
Now, unlike Luke, I'm really down with Schoonover's gear today.
Hey, dude, you are to the Aggie nines right now.
Supporting the show with snaps.
Snaps, got the TexAgs. You are for the brand, brother.
I am. I'm living the brand.
Snaps is good.
You know what? You can just leave the camera on him the rest of the time. We can talk, but you can just look at his clothing. That's fantastic. You look like you literally look like you should be in the Aggie Wranglers.
Thank you.
Do you know how to dance?
You don't want to see me dance.
I don't, but I was just curious.
You don't want to see me. I can't. I actually, running joke in my family. I try to two-step and I literally can't. So I don't think you want to see me dance.
There we go.
Well, maybe we should end the show with some football.
You'll be no Bud and Sissy over there.
Football. Let's go.
All right. So this is a text earlier. This lady said it.
This lady?
Well, it actually doesn't have a name. So it's just
Is it 979?
It's a 214.
Okay. Oh, that tells you something.
So she said, I had to step away from the show. Did I miss a discussion on panel discussion on entering the playoffs? Keeping player health and attrition in mind, would preference be to face a harder team first or describe a steadily harder team as you move forward? What would you rather do?
Easy first. Easy every time. Easy.
But would you not rather play the hard team when you're fully healthy and have a better chance of beating them in case of getting somebody injured and you got to go play?
I think attrition and injuries maybe get a touch blown out of proportion because at this point everybody's banged up, right? Everybody's going to have some players.
Did you see George's list?
Yeah. So you're going to have questionable, probable, doubtful. Everybody's going to have it. So I think you want to have the easier one first, just because you want to have the opportunity to get the next one. Playing the greatest team in the nation in the first round is not a recipe for success, no matter how healthy you are.
Luckily, they don't have to, though.
Oh, this is fair.
They got a buy.
But it for me, and I understand the sentiment, right? Man, if you're healthy and you beat the best one, then. But
if I can choose, I want a non-mobile quarterback who's not very good,
and a terrible defense.
If I have a choice, right? And somebody who maybe forgets that they know how to run the ball. That's all I'm at. I mean, I'm not asking for that much.
It for 3 seconds.
If we could have kept that sixth spot and you get a Virginia or Tulane or North Texas and you're a 13.5-point favorite for a reason, obviously you want that. But I've thought about this a lot, actually, and I'm just like, man, it's the playoffs.
It's supposed to be
We're in a college football playoff. We're gonna get a top 12, 10 team. Let's go. Let's just. You're either good enough or you're not.
Yeah, I think and there's obviously some separation, even along 12 seeds, but there's not a ton of separation. They have played their way to this point.
Which is funny, right? Because after we expanded from 4, it was it's not like the 10th or 11th rated team could win it anyways. Remember these arguments?
Right.
It's not like somebody rated 9 was going to win the national championship. Well, look at this year. You
can make a case.
I can go 1 through 10 and make a case.
I still think we should go
11.
to 16. I think nobody gets a bye first round. We should go to 16 teams.
Well, and if
two rounds of home games, at least. Yeah.
Bingo.
Well, and if you use Chase from Houston and you flip Miami and Notre Dame's out, I'm telling you, if Notre Dame doesn't make the playoffs, they could win the national championship. I mean, their team with running the ball, and now that their defense is better, they are a possible national championship.
They have improved.
Type of a team.
Yeah, but I agree with you, by the way. But have they improved? Who have they played?
USC.
USC is their best.
Played,
Okay, but use the same matrix that you've used against Ohio State. We all agree Ohio State is elite. They haven't played anybody.
Yeah, why I don't go all in on Ohio State like a lot of people do. I do think they're the best team in the country, but I don't know. Do I think that just because I'm supposed to think that?
I don't think they're runaway best. I don't think there's everybody's playing for second kind of good.
Right. They haven't faced adversity. Okay, could that hurt them in the playoffs? Absolutely, 100%.
But they'll find out. If there's adversity to be had, it'll happen in their conference championship game.
Indiana.
Right? That's my thought. But for Notre Dame, you ask, have they gotten better? For me, it's because we can't avoid them being on freaking television. It's so I've seen them play a bit, and it's kind of with my own eyes, they have improved, kind of thing.
But playoff caliber teams, they haven't played since A&M.
But USC was a good team and a good win for them late in the season.
Yeah.
And even, they were like us, upset alert, at Pitt, and they just ran them out of the building. Now, a little bit of a stinker at Boston College, but that's okay.
Yeah. We got a minute left, guys. Any final thoughts? So we all think that A&M staying at 7?
Well, my final thought, and who brought it up on the Sark campaign tour where they were begging for this, right?
Yeah.
That didn't work, and they're getting more backlash about it too. So
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I hope they keep talking. Like, it's just, yet again, it's another data point. We had the water bottle throwing thing, and now the whole nation is watching them just break down like a bunch of children.
We're not going to play anymore.
You know what? We're going to honor playing Ohio State and Michigan, though. We're going to honor that.
I will say,
a load of crap.
We have coming up the biggest game in Kyle Field history.
Yep.
Coming up that we all get to enjoy and get to be a part of that. And I don't care what happened in Austin. I don't care what we look like in the first half of South Carolina. That is the focus.
I told my daughter, quit pulling with freshmen, get better seats.
Better seats. There you go. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Good stuff.
All right, that's going to do it for TexAgs Live here on a Thursday. Tomorrow on the program, Billy Lucci, SEC Mike, and Olin Buchanan. Thanks so much for watching and listening. We'll see you mañana.